Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 326. We are back. It's been a couple of weeks. People were wondering if it was over. The falling out happened. Not yet. Not yet. All right. You'll hear it'll be a lot. It'll be a lot more fiery and explosive. Don't worry. But let me go around here. Returning, we have RGT. Sean's here.
Hello. Hi. How you doing?
Good to have Sean here. Good to have Sean here. Saw your video. Said you still haven't smoked in a long time. I see that pen cap there.
Yep. Since January.
Good. Oh wow. Good. Wow. Geez. Yep. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. We got OJ Player Essence here with us. Hold up the pre-stream.
Pre-stream was fun. Shout outs, guys. Welcome back. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot more to break us up. I mean, Philip didn't even break us up.
Yeah.
I mean, we got that was like woo. So we're good.
we have Josie Woe. Josie's with us.
Excited to be here.
Good to have Josie.
Don't shots to Philip, by the way. He's still doing
we got MVG, Modern Vintage Gamer.
Hello. Just grilled some chicken.
I saw that.
And just finished dinner. Had a lovely meal and ready to get into it.
One from steaks to chicken immediately. Wow.
Go do the chicken sometimes.
It's like the Gordon Ramsay restaurant over there, man. Just grilling every night. That the move.
Hey, weather's nice. Grill's on, man. That's the way.
Part
to
of the
do
reathen why I gotta be over there. That's literally like it was like 5% of my decision. MVG. I factored that in there.
And then we have Evan.
Yep.
Evan's having technical difficulties with his camera. I think you're moving it around for your tabletop stuff, right?
Yeah, I was gonna use a webcam, but it sucked. So I'll have to set up one of the cams for next week.
How's the tabletop stuff going anyway, Evan?
That's all right. Almost to 2K views. I'm trying to get some more specific videos out, but my friends that are supposed to help me with it are kind of being dicks. So
what's the channel name?
Kimrick's Project.
Everyone, subscribe to Kimrick's Project right now.
Hey,
put it in the chat.
Go check it out. Go check it out there.
Evan's channel. The editing is sick.
Editing's incredible. Even if you don't know what the hell's going on, like me, the editing will take you through the video. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
Let's see. We have the FTC Xbox decision that's coming up probably in the next. What time is it now? Probably in the next 24 hours, actually. Maybe a little longer. It'll probably be out before Monday. It'll actually probably drop Sunday night, I bet. Then we have the Sega leak. I want to throw that out there. A little bit of nostalgia in there. Some Sega Saturn versus PS1 stuff, which is kind of cool. Nintendo with their next gen stuff was going crazy this week, but I wanted to focus in on one aspect that wasn't necessarily talked about as much. And then I just threw this one in there because I was curious about a viewpoint from a couple of different generations that are here today about Banjo Kazooie, because I'm a little surprised when I'm seeing about on social media around this some disrespect on Banjo, but we'll get to that. We do have.
Are we going to talk about how MVG got banned on Reddit for talking about?
We can talk about that. Yes, okay, MVG to get banned. Don't worry. We'll go over that one too. We did have some news though, as there was a new launch that happened actually kind of while we were away from live streams, and it has quietly built up in the background with the Spawncast network. This is actually a network that we're trying to build right now through different content, podcasts, video releases, some community interaction. There's a lot of stuff happening over there. This is over on Patreon. We have it linked with spawncastnetwork.com. And let's see, we launched Game and Talk, right, Sean? You have that down pat now. No longer Game and Watch, Game and Talk.
Yep. We changed the name. Little decision.
Yes. It's the Focused Nintendo podcast. A couple episodes in the books now. MVG just did his Ask a Developer episode.
Yep.
Which was awesome. I learned a lot actually with that. MVG taking questions from the community. I noticed we'll do these podcasts and people will ask you just random things about games for development. I'm like, well, why don't we just do a whole show where MVG just answers questions specifically about development? I saw some UE5 stuff in there. Talk about budgets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and keep an eye on that series, because I'm gonna. Not every week, but I will start bringing in some guests as well.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah. MVG's got some plans.
Yeah, I got some plans. So check out the Patreon.
Okay. And then I actually have a one-on-one interview series that I'm doing as well. So I have some guests lined up for that. One already got posted up actually over on the network for me and Jeff Grubb talking about some stuff. So it's a lot of stuff happening over there, and there are more shows coming. We actually have some that we're designing. I would like to get to the point where everyone on the Spawncast kind of has their own show that goes on there as well. So got some plans in the works for a few. So you'll see OJ pop-ups I'm sure at some point soon. Nate is actually over there, even though he can't be here Saturday nights because he's working and stuff. He's made time. He's over there on the network. So exciting stuff.
Down.
Exciting stuff. Yes, we've it's launched. We got a lot of work to do, but I think it's starting up pretty nicely. Over 200 people have already signed up for it. So it's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Been up for just under a week now. So let's see. Do we want to start with? Oh, we do have that linked in the description, by the way. You can check it out. We want to start with Discord question, Evan.
Yep. Are you all interested in getting the Vitcher gaming glasses to use your Switch/Steam Deck?
They've messaged me about sending me a pair, but I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If they send me a pair of glasses, I have to make a video on it, and looking at people's videos on it, nobody seems to give a fuck about this. So it's kind of like, like, would I use it? Probably not. Like, I don't know. I'm
doing a sponsor spot for it.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, they're apparently sending it out to me. So you will know soonish. I don't know. They just want a spot. So
real question is,
okay.
How are you going to record that? Like, what are you going to show?
That's the thing. Everyone's video is like, yeah, I got these glasses. I'm going to talk about them for 8 minutes and 1 second exactly, so I can get mineral. It's like, it's hard to show something like that. I've heard that they're very good and they're very fun to use, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like something that I would use a lot. So it's kind of like, eh.
They have apparently I'm doing a spot for them. They're shipping them out, so I will.
Yeah, I would do a spot for them, but like a dedicated.
You'll hear about them from me for about 59.5 seconds in a video.
I'll totally take them if they give them to me for free.
There you go. See,
how much are they? I don't think they're like super.
I would never buy them.
I don't think they're cheap either, but I'll probably find out afterwards and be like, okay.
I don't think they're too bad.
I think they reached out to me, I think. So I think I might still I think they wanted to do a video or a spot with me, but I'm not sure if I got back to them. So maybe I'll get back to them.
I'm curious for the Steam Deck is an interesting one to have it for. I don't know. The Switch maybe, but we'll see. Hey, I mean, maybe I'll find out in the spot. You have another one, Evan?
With the crazy game release month of June finally behind us, it seems like we have a few weeks of downtime before the next big release. Any games you need to finish up or backlog stuff you want to tackle?
Tons. So many.
Backlog stuff. I do have to go back to Trails eventually. That has to happen. I keep saying I'm going to, and I haven't.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's. I mean, there's smaller games that are coming out, like the Double Dragon guiding game.
Oh, yeah.
There's some weird kaiju monster game coming out, I think, at the end of this month that has. It's total bullshit. I looked it up. They have a Godzilla DLC pack on day one. It's like, all right, motherfucker. The reason I want this game is to play as Godzilla and, kind of mimic Godzilla, destroy all monsters melee.
They know that.
Yeah, they know that.
They got to pay for that contract separately.
They got you.
Yeah, so I'll probably get that. I'll probably check that out too.
When's RoboCop coming out? Because I want to play that one.
I think it got delayed till September.
Damn it.
Yeah,
it did.
It was supposed to be a July or June game, but it got delayed till September, which, I mean, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because the second half of the year is when everything's coming out.
Yeah, my buddy's trying to tear through War Tales with me before Baldur's Gate 3 drops, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, you gonna fuck a bear in it?
I'm on Baldur's Gate.
Maybe. You never know.
You, MBG? You gonna have sex with a bear in the game?
That's what all the articles were. You can bone a bear. I was just like, okay, I guess.
Apparently, it's 80 hours to beat the game if you rush it.
How long?
That sounds crazy.
How long until you can fuck a bear in it? That's the real question, because that's what everyone seems to care about, right?
I just saw the person hugging, like looking at a bear all sensually. Like that just seems wrong to me. Like that's
aren't there laws against that? I thought there are
laws against that, but I guess it's a shape-shifting bear. So I guess I don't think there's laws against shape-shifting bears.
Okay, yeah.
Regular bear, yeah, you can't do that with a regular bear. Or I mean, you can, but good luck.
What is happening right now?
Let's go to our first topic. That has to do with Sean. This is Sean's favorite right here. Okay, he had to beg me to put this on here. I couldn't believe it. He would not stop bringing it up. And that has to do with the FTC and Xbox. It actually seems like the decision is about to be in. The judge is going to come out with like 4 hats on the table and pick one. This is I feel like it's been building up for what, a year now. It looks like this is going to do it because they're either going to decide if FTC gets their injunction, in which case I think Microsoft might walk and pay Activision, or FTC's denied the injunction. And I think Microsoft tries to close this thing this week coming up. They try to announce Friday, hey, we're welcome to the family. It's done. And I wanted to get people's thoughts on which way they think it's going to go. I might as well take a guess and see who's right.
That is actually a Discord question for
Well,
predictions.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Just with the prediction. Okay, there you go.
It's going through.
My prediction is I couldn't give a fuck which way it
Now,
happened.
I will tell you, no one on this podcast is qualified to do law or anything. But
I don't give a solitary fuck, and honestly, whichever way it goes, it doesn't make a difference.
You know what I'm excited about?
No.
That's coming this week. The fact that even though I fucking hate them because of one of their employees named Modern Vintage Go, I don't know if he works there anymore. Limited Run Games is having their showcase, and they're promising new digital and physical game announcements. I'm curious to see what they're pulling out of their sleeve. That's the real news of this week, not some hokey pokey Activision thing. Who cares? All right.
Isn't that the biggest acquisition in history?
Though, Sean? You fought for this to be on here.
Yeah.
I did not. I hate this topic. I hate this topic.
Then why do you keep talking to us about it?
It's another fucking topic.
I was just joking around.
Chat's filled with you talking about it. Jeez.
It is. I mean, it is the biggest acquisition in history. Like outside of gaming, even this is it. This is the biggest one ever done.
But it's been going on for make a decision. Shit or get off the pot, as
All right.
Italian people say.
All right, Sean. Let's make it simple. You said that you love chaos. So
I do love chaos. So you would think I would want it to. I feel like it is going to go through, but I would prefer it didn't go through.
Oh,
yeah. Well, what if it goes through, but it gets delayed like 3 more years before it actually happens or something?
That would just piss me off.
Yeah, because if they deny it and then Microsoft decides to renegotiate the contract, technically it could go on for another couple of years. Maybe that's the answer, just to annoy Sean.
Didn't FTC say, or didn't Activision Blizzard say that if this gets blocked or whatever, at this point they're just gonna abandon it?
I feel like they're done. I feel like they're like, nah, because that means you're going to be in limbo for years, and that's on Microsoft's side too. Microsoft might want to make some moves.
Those legal fees would be. I mean, but that's the thing. There will be either way. There's going to be a fallout from the situation, and I think if it doesn't go through, Microsoft's just going to try to buy whoever the fuck they can to where the FTC won't care because it won't be as viewed as a big deal.
Well, you saw a lot of those names. I mean, they were looking at everybody. They at least had a list, and they were writing just about everyone down.
All of those names would require governments getting involved in scrutiny. Like, it's not going to be a free sailing for any of those names, like any of the big ones. Like, let's say you do Square Enix, or if you do Sega. So, like Sega, oh my goodness.
Well, Sega's an interesting one. I thought about this a little bit. I actually think Sega would be a bit easier than something like Square Enix, because they would buy the Sega game division from Sega Sammy rather than buy the entirety of Sega. They would just want the game division and the IPs.
Sammy they're going to want a ridiculous amount for that. Like, that's not going to come cheap at all.
They would pay out. Yeah, they'd pay out a lot of money. I mean, it wouldn't be anywhere near what they're paying now. But
what's Sammy left with? Like, what's the point of it? They're left with nothing. I mean, yeah, you got a bunch of money, but now you have no revenue drivers. And Sega's been doing so good with Sonic and everything that's been coming. Persona's been doing way better. Like, that would be expensive. That would be very expensive, and it would be awkward for them to. I don't know. I don't know. I just see like Japanese government with they have rules in place for American companies not just come in and buy them up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of tape. You know, I don't think it's as simple as that, in my opinion. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. It's the whole thing. It just needs to wrap up. Wrap it up, B. Wrap this shit up. Like, we need the button and everything. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I'm just so sick of it every week. It's not going through. Oh, it might go through. Oh, this country, let it go through. Like, fucking A, dude.
I think there has been some obsession, I'll say, on social media. Twitter. I'm trying to be polite.
I've watched whole podcast for like 2 hours, like in the background.
Admit, we've been pretty good, Sean. We've been pretty good about this.
No, we've been one of the better ones. I mean, they're a podcast that talk about it every week in and week out, and it's just like, bro.
I try to at least pick some I try my best not to do the same topic every week, or like we can, but
But here's the thing, though. It's important to a lot. Like, if you're like an Xbox focused channel, it's important because this could be like the future of like if console wars and all this stuff. Like, if people that are dedicated to that, if you got all of Activision Blizzard games Game Pass day one.
Well, I mean, like, also if you're someone who, like, let's just say you're somebody who's specific to Nintendo, like you really like the Switch, the convenience of it, whatever. If Microsoft gets them, they have to put Call of Duty now on your system. Maybe you're someone who liked Call of Duty back in the day, and you're like, oh, I would have that now.
Do they have to?
I mean, they agreed to it. It's part of it. It's in the filing. They said, hey, we'll put it there.
Where's the business plan? Did you see the FTC? Where's the business plan for it?
Hey, Brad Smith held up stuff on stage, I believe.
Where's the business plan? If you read through the logs, they had a business plan for removing Call of Duty from Sony's platforms and how much it would cost them. There was no business plan for the Switch. So there's definitely, I don't believe everything that's because they literally said, here, we got a 10-year plan. Where's the business plan at? But I think factored in Sony removing it from Sony's platform. Hold up here. I don't know, man.
It's just one envelope with the word "the cloud" in it.
There's no business plan.
I kind of think Activision might try to get something Call of Duty related on the next Switch anyway, next system. So
I think Bobby Kotick is a rich idiot, and he doesn't give a damn. He's ready for his golden parachute, and they'll say anything to get this deal to go through. I don't know what's gonna happen. They'll say anything to get this deal to go through. Pete Hines and that other dude, what's his name? Todd Howard. They're like, we're removing all the games from Sony's platform. They're like, wait, what? They were shocked that they were doing that because that's a lot of money. That's literally billions of dollars that you're saying, nope, not going to be on the Phil Spencer upended the tea table and just randomly did it. So they can say one thing right now and then do something completely different 2 years from that and find themselves a loophole to get out of the contract.
I'm surprised they were so shocked by that. Is it because they're so used to having to get their games everywhere for it to make sense for ZeniMax?
It's because Microsoft's VP of whatever sales and marketing they were all in agreement that the games were going to be like, hey, look, in order to make as much money as possible, this is how we're going to do it. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't like that. It was just one person who decided, and they charted out and planned like this is how much we're going to be making now, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden something different happened. Like they just said no. So yes, I mean, Phil Spencer, I get it. I understand why Phil Spencer's doing what he's doing because Sony's been doing all sorts of weird things. So it kind of pushed Phil Spencer to the edge, like with Ghostwire Tokyo and potentially Starfield being exclusive to PlayStation or, timed exclusive. So Phil's like, screw that, and now he's trying to secure more. They're trying to be competitive. So I'm not saying that if it goes through, I'm like, cool, it goes through. But at the same time, like, just because they say something doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like that's, with that. So that's why the FTC is challenging them. That's why they brought up so many different things, like with the Bethesda case. Like, hey, you guys said this, or you guys were kind of, talking about this, and then that didn't happen. Where's your business plan for Nintendo? Where's your business plan for this? They're missing a lot of things here, yet they're saying a lot of stuff, so.
Hey, they brought in the person from Nintendo who made the deal, brought him in. They testified. It just wasn't public. Had to be confidential.
But they didn't make a business plan for them, though. They brought him and said, okay, they made, but there was nothing there.
I mean, they had the paperwork. They had all this stuff that was redacted about it. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what he said.
They made that the night before, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, they drew that up the night before. I'm sorry.
That's the one deposition I wish wasn't. Like it was fully redacted. So I mean, it's apparently they had to bring him out kicking and screaming because Nintendo was like, "No, we don't represent him." Well, who's that? Who's that? We don't know who that is.
If I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong on that one.
I have to see what their name is. It was Steven something. He made the deal with Microsoft over it, and they brought him in, but he couldn't apparently be public with it. They did everything behind closed doors for it. So I don't know if there's some Nintendo secret in there, or I don't know. Maybe who knows?
Switch two secret. Redacted
it might have been like, hey, it's cloud on the old one, but here's this rectangular box. We got it through TSA. I think someone may have seen it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it shows up on 4chan. I am inclined to say that the judge just declines the injunction and Microsoft closes, but we've seen people get shocked before when they get denied by the CMA. So I'm going to stick with Microsoft getting it through, but who knows? Who knows what's about to happen? One way or the other, it's going to be an interesting week online. I will say that.
Wrap it up.
I think it's going to go through.
Based on what, Jose? Well, what's your reasoning behind it?
I think it'd be cool if it was on the Switch. Just hope. I don't give a single
Say
I don't
politics
care.
and money.
Say it.
That's
I
all
don't
it
care about this at all.
Cuss.
So, not on this podcast.
You just say shit on your videos.
I know I did because I was angry at that game.
Wow,
Sorry.
everybody 1-2 switch like hurt you, man.
I just want that smash
It's a
cut.
bad game.
I just want the smash cut of all the people in these hearings, like all the older people talking about like tech like they know it, but then you can clearly hear it every time they speak. They have no idea what they're talking about. I want that for this whole thing.
That's most of the industry.
It'd be like an 8-hour director's cut of this shit. Like,
Be great.
just look at the old stuff from Mortal Kombat and Night Trap with the government. That was the stupidest fucking thing in the world. There's no idea what they were talking about in anything.
There's some very concerning quotes from FTC about a lot of this. Like, it's very obvious they did not understand anything that was going on in gaming.
There is some. I agree. There is some very questionable things going on.
And this is
I
the
agree.
oversight, so they're going to make good decisions.
Well, Sony.
If this,
Go ahead, Josie.
say, if this goes through, do we get Warzone on the Switch? Because I'd kind of be down for that.
As a cloud game, yes.
You don't get nothing. You get,
I don't.
Well, then never mind. I don't give a single shit about this.
I mean, I feel like
No.
that was implied
Language.
that Warzone would be
You
coming
I said
to
I
the
could say
Switch.
that.
Oh, okay.
you get what's that Call of Duty on the Wii version upscaled to 1080p?
No, that one was kind of good. That was the pointer controls. Are you kidding?
Then be
Yeah.
happy that you're gonna
I
get
didn't know
that.
that.
Hey,
I will be
there's Call of Duty
thrilled.
Mobile. They could bring mobile over and just call it something
Boom.
else. There you go. You know, Call of Duty Mobile is played more than the consoles. There's a bigger player
'cause
base there.
Somebody picks
Throw
it
it
up.
on Switch.
shoots two
Yeah,
peeps,
but it
shoots two
come on.
puts it down.
Which one? I mean, it might even make more money.
Probably does.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be
Probably
it
just
right
running
there.
in the background with location services on. No one's actually playing it, but it's been counted as people playing it.
Probably some
Hey.
strange countries has
That
the whole
thing
player
destroys
base.
your battery. Have you ever, man? You shoot 5 people, your battery is like,
Yeah, I bet
That's
it
what Fortnite did too. Fortnite would just tank the whole thing.
it just, man, it ain't even worth it, bro. You ain't gonna be able to make a call or be able to do other things.
That's the real
Oh.
move. Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard King for the mobile side. Who cares about the consoles?
Wasn't there? Didn't they say there was something like that's like part of the reason why? Is 'cause
That's like they say that's the main reason why is because of mobile, but I'm like, that's because the reason they want to position it as it's all for mobile because it's a lot easier to say we're doing everything we can to fight against Apple and Google. We're not fighting against Sony. We're looking at Apple because regulators they hate Apple and Google, so it's easy to be like we're trying to fight them. So, yeah. Evan, do you have a Discord question for us?
What is your single favorite 3DS game?
Oh gosh, single favorite 3DS game.
Link Between Worlds is good.
Link Between Worlds is really good. I really like that game. Just because I like Link to the Past a lot.
It's a good game. Very technically impressive too.
Had a cool twist in it too. I like that.
I like the Metroid game as well. It's pretty good on 3DS.
Okay.
Good game.
Okay.
Awakening for me. Fire Emblem Awakening.
Makes sense.
I had a good time with 3D Land.
Oh,
That's a good game too.
That's a
Yeah.
great game.
Yeah.
Kid
Ocarina
Icarus.
of Time 3D.
Yeah, that's good. Kid Icarus is good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Kid Icarus. The controls, if they had dual analog controls on that probably would have been my
I thought
favorite.
you would have said Street Fighter, Sean.
You said
Yeah.
Street Fighter last time, didn't you?
I didn't want to say it again because then people would be like, "I watched Street Fighter," and I just don't feel like answering people why.
I think I did that to you last
You
time.
you probably did.
I was ready for it this time, so I was like, I ain't gonna say shit this time.
No, change the answer.
So you said okay.
Bullied into adjusting
acceptable.
your opinion.
I
Nice.
like it.
Look, acceptable. Ocarina's good.
I have some information for you, Sean. Actually, for everyone.
Okay.
This is part of a massive leak from Sega. And this is a very interesting read, by the way, to go through. Yes, it's 272 pages, but I went through.
Is there an audiobook?
I went through every page. I scrolled through them. I looked and everything because some of them
You're
are
a nerd.
some of them are like crushed box shots of like Quaker Oats, and they put like Sonic on there. So they have like marketing concepts of some of them and stuff. But there's some interesting bits and pieces in here. I have no idea where this came from, by the way. It just showed up online, and somebody tweeted about it, and it blew up from there. And I think Sega Retro.
Yep.
Sega Retro
Retro.
posted it. So somehow they got info of it, and it was an entire folder because they even scanned the folder that it came in, which is funny. And as I'm going through this, I'm noticing that there's definitely a shift in attitude, because it's almost like a story. Like the beginning starts with Sega just winning and they think they're untouchable, and by the end the dude's leaving Sega. So the first thing you see is a 1996 E3 floor plan, and it's all penciled in. So they're going around, they're trying to figure out where the different TVs and stuff go, and it's obvious that it's like Sega had one of the biggest floor plan and booths there. But we start to get some info on the Sega Saturn, because this is the point in time where it was Saturn versus PS1, which I'm sure Sean is pretty familiar with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they started pointing out some of the weaknesses that they were noticing, because the PS1 was gaining a lot of momentum, and one of them was lack of retail space or exposure. So they were not being shown at retail, and one of them fired back and said, yeah, it's because our Sega Saturn, the console that we're pushing, has a 6% retail margin.
Well, I mean, when you look back at the history of the Saturn, they announced a release date, and then they were like, okay, wait, we're actually going to release it in the summer.
Okay, I like that you brought this up, Sean, real quick, because Tom Kalinske, who is this Sega America CEO.
I know who Tom Kalinske is. He's in my book. He
book.
wrote the foreword for my book.
Threw Sega under the bus. Japan, that they launched this thing early. They I didn't want to launch it here. This all this stuff, right? But that was a big thing. A retail margin. Retailers were like, let's sell the PS1 when we make more money on it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they rushed it to the market, and even worse was they rushed the games to the market as well. That's why you had Daytona, because they wanted to beat Sony to the market, because the Sony, was coming in at $299. They were at $399. So they were like, well, we got to come out first. And then that actually hurt with the software, because Daytona USA wasn't optimized. The original Virtua Fighter wasn't optimized. And those were probably two of the biggest reasons you would want a Sega Saturn, to have those Sega arcade ports at home. And then, of course, they tried to rectify it by giving out everyone who bought Virtua Fighter Remix via the mail. And then they did Daytona USA Championship Edition, two vastly superior games to the original. Well, I don't know. Championship Edition, they redid the music. And then there's a Japanese version that you can buy that has the original and the recomposed music. So that's kind of the one to get and play. But I mean, just in terms of graphics and stuff, like, and performance, the remix and Championship Edition of Daytona USA looked so much better. But you've already pissed off a lot of people by rushing to the market.
You really need to go through this, Sean, because they actually had plans in place for ahead of launch for how to try to fix Daytona. And it's very interesting, them going back and forth. They spot weaknesses in their games. And they're like, this needs to be done here. And you need to read through this, man. There was an email from Tom once again. I guess he was visiting Japan and said that they're absolutely killing Sony. There's stacks of PS1s in stores, no Saturns, nothing. And then it quickly flipped, as I mentioned, by the end when Tom left, and was just like, yeah, Sega's Japan was terrible. They ruined it.
Unlike what you see with Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Japan today, these were literally two separate companies with two separate ideas and two separate, really, business monikers. So having to work together, it was kind of a nightmare for both sides, because there was no sort of constant agreement going on.
Okay. Well, they also seemed to get word of Nintendo, what they were launching, because it was about a year before, actually. They said that Nintendo was going to try to position their system as the ultimate gaming machine, and that they needed to try to start using that phrase before them. So they were keeping an eye on Nintendo. They were keeping an eye on them.
Even by the end, the Saturn outsold the N64 in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot went into that, obviously, but they technically did. I mean, Japan wasn't too bad for Sega at that time for the Saturn.
No.
But they did mention, as they kind of did they looked back on it and they were like, why are we losing to the PS1? They kept doing this, by the way. This is like quarterly. Like, why are we losing? And at one point they just said, well, Sony is leveraging their vast company equity and resources, which is kind of funny now thinking about it, since we just talked about the FTC and Microsoft.
You released a brand new system, and you never gave your system's mascot, who at one point in time was bigger than Mario, and you didn't have a game for them, and you never had a game for them on the system. Why was that? Like, it's pretty clear why it stumbled out of the gate and it never really gained traction. Would a Sonic game have completely transformed everything?
Which Sonic game was on there?
You had Sonic R, which was a racing game. You had Sonic Jam, which had a 3D hub world that you can move Sonic around in. That was actually kind of impressive to look at, but that came out kind of later on. And then you had a port of Sonic 3D Blast from the Genesis that was kind of like retooled, upscaled, looked better. That was it.
Okay. And they did talk about some of the Sonic games on the Saturn, though, Sean. They were trying to make sense of it just like you are right now.
Well, they had Sonic Crackers, Sonic Mars, Sonic Extreme. The Sonic Extreme prototype wasn't like super well received. Like, I don't know. It was tough for Sonic to go 3D. Like, I get it, but you still should have had some sort of backup plan, some sort of backup contingency plan. Because then you have Sonic Team making Knights. You know, like, wouldn't you think Sonic Team would be making focused on a Sonic? Shout out to Yuji Naka.
Oh no,
he's the one that leaked everything before he went to prison.
He probably is. Like, fuck you. I don't think he went to prison. He's just on probation.
Well, before he didn't know that beforehand. He didn't know what was gonna happen. Before the sentence, he's like, I'm just gonna get everything out. Oh wait, hold up. I'm not going. So that's probably what happened, man. Yeah,
they discussed Knights. They discussed all these different games, Sonic 3D, others, and just try to come up with reasons why they were struggling. It seemed like they were just having a lot of issues in development with these games.
But the developers told them though, right? Like, I'm pretty sure the developers said, like, "Hey, look, this thing's hard to develop for."
Yeah, the Saturn were notorious for being a very difficult machine to develop on. And it took a long time because remember how they added the 3D stuff after? They kind of added it on towards the end, so it's like. I've read stories about very difficult development on those games.
Well, it's well documented that Sega thought 3D was going to be like a fad. And so that's why 2D games looked and ran better on the Saturn than they did on PlayStation. Compare any of the fighting games, the Capcom fighters that were multi-plat. The Saturn ones always fucking dwarfed the PlayStation ones because it was built for. I mean, that's why you got games like Astral, Guardian Heroes, which was 2.5D, this, that, and the other. But what's funny about that is even when you look retrospectively, like you could tell that the industry was kind of moving on from the 2D stuff because most of the 2D games on the Saturn, even though they held up extremely well versus a lot of the 3D games from that era, no matter the platform, reviewers didn't like them. Like I'm going through some old. I just bought fucking every Game Pro from 1995. I've now become a Game Pro collector. And like Guardian Heroes got a 3 on graphics. They're like, they could have been better. It's 2D sprites.
There was like a real hatred for 2D games for a while when the PS1 and the Saturn had come out. Like no one in the industry wanted 2D anymore. I think there's some rumor that PlayStation would even like block 2D games.
No, that's not a rumor. That's true.
Well, I mean it is, but I mean there still were 2D games that ended up on the PS1.
There were certain 2D games that Sony didn't want on there, or that they wouldn't really talk about, or they wouldn't market more. I remember watching a documentary, and I think it was like a former Sony. God, I don't know who it was, but he said, there was just certain games that wouldn't get in the magazines, or certain games that Sony just wouldn't publish or promote, or they didn't want on there because it made their system look, inferior, or
it made it look 16-bit or last gen or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. I forgot what game it was. There was like this. Gosh, I can't remember the name. Like Japanese platformer that was really good, but it never ended up getting released. I think in America because of that.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't get
Popful Mail and games like that. I mean,
what'd you say? What was the name?
Like Popful Mail, and that was on the Sega CD.
I don't know the name.
You weren't getting front page. You weren't getting a 2-page review. You were getting a blurb for your review.
Yeah.
I mean, Josie, you know all about that. What were your thoughts? What were you? You weren't even alive when this. What year?
I was not alive. 2003.
Not even close to being alive.
I didn't grow up with any Sega stuff. I thought they were third party until I was like 10, and then I realized that they had actual consoles.
Were third party. They were third
well,
party.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying like I didn't realize that they actually had their own consoles.
Oh, that's
when you said Puffles, I just thought of the ones from Club Penguin. Like I don't know what's going on, but
Popful Mail.
Popful Mail.
I'm gonna set you up with a Saturn emulator, and you're gonna play Saturn games and review them.
That's crazy.
That Saturn Mini.
You know, I like Daytona USA, so if it runs cool, you know, I'll play.
Yeah,
that.
well, I mean, the second version
too, though. That's something else on the Saturn.
I noticed on page 209 there's a typo. They called it Duke Nukem.
They had a good version of Duke Nukem on the Saturn though, because they used SegaNet.
That's right.
And you could play it online.
They actually talk about that here, SW Internet Connectivity. They went over getting these games set up. There was that, Command and Conquer, Descent, Gun Griffin, Baku Baku.
Well, the Command and Conquer never was on SegaNet.
Oh, well, look at that. They were planning it, apparently. It's
a lot of those games. Yeah. Like really, SegaNet only had a handful of games, and then when it moved to the Dreamcast, that's when they opened the floodgates. I remember Dreamcast was like my first online system, and this was like back in the day. So like, if like one of our friends, like a chick or something, would send like a titty pic, we would get on the Dreamcast, go into our email, and open it there. So that way it was on, because I had like a 30-something inch screen in the basement instead of like the little 13-inch monitor for my computer. So like, yeah, look at that. That was cool.
Who would ever send you that, Sean?
The
I know
thirst level of young RGT
on the Dreamcast.
That was despicable of your friends.
Yeah,
Sean. Despicable.
This was high school.
That's some after show talk.
I would never do that. Despicable.
Then at the end of the documents, they start talking about the Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto is actually discussed, and it kind of ended, unfortunately, right there where they were discussing how to get who would have ownership of the browser it would come with. Remember the Pluto? Sean knows. Pluto was the basically gonna be a revision of the Saturn that had apparently even like storage space and like installed and like internet connectivity out of the box.
Is there anything about the Neptune in it? I'd love to read that.
I don't think there's anything about that.
Is it a PDF file?
Yeah.
Can you search?
Yeah, that's right. I can drop it for you. I'll drop it. Let me see.
It's a PDF file that I think is a scan. I don't think it's searchable necessarily.
You can still search it. I was able to search Duke Nukem because pages have been added. It's gone from 272 to 289. So I don't know which pages were added, but there's more info there now than there was last time I looked. So I don't see anything about Neptune though, Sean. Pluto was like the one thing I saw, and I was like, oh, that might be good. And they just talked about how Packard Bell was going to come in and do some business with them.
You said it started in 95, right?
96.
Oh, that's why. Okay, never mind.
And it ran all the way until like some of the emails are from the end of 96 mostly, and then planning out that holiday and then the E3 and everything. So it's an interesting snapshot in time. A lot of stuff behind the scenes that we've never seen before. So no idea where it came from, but definitely some interesting stuff there, especially if you're really into like the history of games or you're really interested in Sega. So cool stuff. Let me go over it. Evan, you got a Discord question for us?
Let's go with what video game series has the most entries in it?
Most entries?
Yeah.
Video game
Fantasy?
No. According to Google, Mario.
I was about to say Mario. Man, I was about to say Mario.
Can you guess number 2?
Oh,
Final Fantasy?
Mega Man.
Pokemon.
Then Final Fantasy
every year back in the day.
They used to come out with them constantly, right, OJ?
Yeah. Then it's Final Fantasy, then it's Sonic. And then Pokemon.
And then Pokemon, yeah. That makes sense. Okay. You have another Discord question?
Let's go with, will we see a Spawncast Plays Smash tournament?
I don't know. Well, maybe. I mean, we're up for playing anything, really. I don't mind. OJ would probably win, so it wouldn't be very much of a tournament. The Mario Golf thing was that Mario Golf was recorded a year and a half ago. It's a long time ago that was recorded. So I just had it on my system. I was like, let me watch this again. Oh, it's pretty funny. Let's post it. And people seem to like it.
In terms of items, it'd be where people can have more
items. 8 on 8. It doesn't matter. No one-on-one. It's just 8-on-8. It's just mayhem.
We'd have to be in person for that.
Okay, 4-on-4 or four people. Mayhem,
Yeah,
free for all.
yeah.
There you go. Online, anyone can win.
Yeah, especially with Smashes online.
Everyone plays on Wi-Fi, like 2 floors away from the router. Go.
Well, we all have good internet connections though, so it actually would probably run. It'd actually be pretty good with all of ours. So.
I'm or for anything. I'm looking at, Mario Party. People were asking about Mario Party. That seems like an easy one. Mario Golf was just ended up being pretty funny. There were some weird things that happened in that video. So, everybody 1-2 switch. You can have 100 people play that, right?
You could
do that. Sean will just have to trust Sean with the camera on his phone.
I would like to know if like people have done 100-player game yet.
I know Game Explain did like 70 people or something like that.
It's not 100.
No.
So how'd they? I guess you do go on stream and you just have everyone join.
Yeah.
Screen share, yeah.
There's a lot of trust in there.
Yeah, I'd hate to edit that. So much mosaic use.
Delay.
No, the reason why is like apparently like people can just upload whatever pictures they want. So I was like,
you can take hella pictures, like of whatever.
Yeah, so I was like, nope, no. That's
That
not
seems
it.
like,
Not for my channel. Hell no.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. We thought about everybody 1-2 switch because Josie has it, so we don't have to buy it.
We can do it. I'm excited. I played it with 2 other people. It was pretty trash, but fun.
I have the game too. So
okay, it's always Mario Tennis. Could do that.
hashtag free game.
Okay, I paid $30. That's crazy.
I bought it too. I bought the physical edition, but Nintendo just randomly gave me a call. I was like, okay, cool.
There's a lot of possibilities. We're gonna do more of those. We got it down at least once a month, but I might try to do more than that. I don't know. People ask for like Warzone. People ask for Halo. Just whatever. So there were definitely some clips for Warzone. I'll say that. Evan, you have a Discord question?
What's everyone's least favorite thing about Nintendo?
Their silence. It's annoying.
The least favorite thing about
I'm going to go with the fans that seem completely connected to their success in a way that makes you think they have investments in Nintendo, but they don't.
Some of the diehard weirdos, but you could say that of any console fandom.
Yeah, and I do.
They're very litigious.
I see what you're saying.
Very litigious.
For me, it's more of like the system stuff, like having like all like certain features and stuff like that. That's probably the thing that I don't give a damn about fans and all that. People can be assholes anywhere. Companies can do all whatever. So to me, it's more about just like the system, like some of the views on the system itself. You know, like whatever they do. Usually, some of the stuff that they do with that.
I guess I'm trying to think. Right. This second was the least favorite thing. I guess it would be their I guess slow nature to upgrade the Switch's hardware at this point. Just because I think I'm ready to move to the next thing. I know they're bringing out games, but I'm like, I actually kind of want to see the Tegra evolve from a consumer standpoint. It's kind of tied to Nintendo right now. I feel like Nvidia is just kind of hanging out waiting for Nintendo to say go, and then it's on. So. Whereas before we were getting Tegras pretty consistently, and then they didn't have a place for it, and the X1 was kind of it. So, and we've been there ever since. We had like the for a while there, we had like the Tegra 3. That was pretty cool because I went into like a tablet and it looked pretty good. The Tegra 4, and then the K1, and then went to X1, and now it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. They just stopped making it and moved it to cars. So I would like to see it now in a new system. So.
I also think it's crazy how many like IPs Nintendo has that they just don't utilize or feel comfortable giving out to other developers. Because it was cool when they gave it to an indie studio for that Zelda game, but I wish they would do stuff like that more.
Oh, Cadence Hyrule.
While you're absolutely right, they're not the only ones. I mean, Microsoft has the same thing.
Oh, right. We're talking about Microsoft.
PlayStation has the same thing.
Man,
whatever reason,
Sony's buried so many cool IPs, man, that I'd love to see come back. But yeah, it's not just them, but Nintendo's is just like, man, it's like, yo, where's F-Zero? You know, where's
a lot of legacy, I think.
Yeah, where's all this? Where's all that? Where's the Golden Sun? Where's this? Where's
Ice
that?
Climbers?
Where's Ice Climbers?
If we can get a new God of War, we can get new Ice Climbers.
Starfy? Is that you want that coming back too?
Tingle?
You have another Discord question, Evan?
Do you still expect Zelda Wind Waker Twilight Princess to come to Switch?
No.
Yeah, I think it gets announced at the Direct in the fall.
I say no because Nate said no. I'm going to go with...
Yeah, did you even listen to the show we recorded, John? Available exclusively on the Spawncast Patreon?
No, I'll have to listen to it. Everyone else should too. Everyone should go and just listen on spawncastnetwork.com. I'll go against the grain and say, yeah, this fall they'll announce it for first quarter next year. Why not? You have another Discord question, Evan?
Let's go with, who was the surprise guest at the Too Many Games panel, and does anyone have any good Too Many Games stories?
The guest at Too Many Games was Mystic Ryan. He was there. We also had that entire panel recorded, and I got in touch with some of the people at Too Many Games to get that from them. So I'm trying to figure out what I'll do. I might post it up on the network for a little bit, then make it live.
Sounds like a good network exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just do that, put it up there. But it was a pretty fun panel. We had the person come out to try to see Sean again with all the balance, and Sean set him up again. Hey, Sean says he's going next year.
Okay? I'll go next year.
So the entire joke the whole time when anyone asked where Sean was, they just said he was busy and it was 3 hours by train, so he wasn't there. I'm trying. Well, we did meet. We met a lot of people, which was pretty cool. So like John O came out. Shout out to John O. Might be in the chat. I also got to meet him, which is pretty cool. And for the most part, it was just hanging out, seeing some cool people, catching up with some friends.
You're not putting out what happened, John, because you don't want to be embarrassed.
What happened?
You got bodied in pool.
Oh, no, I didn't. Well, no, I think I hit the 8-ball in, so that one I did lose. But I think I won more than I lost in pool. I did.
And Dreamcast guy's a liar.
I think he won because I knocked the 8-ball in. I will say that. I scratched on the 8-ball, and I did it. But now pool was pretty fun. The after party stuff was good. But it was a good time. You just need to get Sean out there next year, and then MG apparently will follow. And then Joe's talking about coming out. And then I just gotta get everyone out there, fill up the stage, have a full Spawncast live. Get OJ out there. He'll have probably like another condo over here. So have like 3 condos, and it'll just be like a property shark. Just have them all over the US.
Oh, one of these days, huh?
That's the move, apparently.
Oh, it's definitely the move.
I did witness some pretty big retro purchases, which was cool. Maybe we'll see those on camera at some point. But it was just fun. It was just fun. Let's talk about this Nintendo Next Gen stuff. They talked about and covered this quite extensively on Game & Watch. Okay, so Game & Talk, Game & Watch. Yeah, they covered it quite extensively in the episode 2. It's up on the network, and I'll be live next week. But it was all about the dev kit stuff. Everyone's kind of going over this at length. Don't really need to talk too much more about the dev kit. Although I want to ask this to give MVG, because we haven't been live in a while, and I figured I wanted to just get MVG's take on it because he's not on Game & Talk, which is live on the SpawnCastNetwork.com. The dev kit situation. Okay, we hear word. Nash Weedle mentioned this on Twitter. That is their knowledge that there is a dev kit that's finalized. It's out to a developer in Spain. I'm not aware of the situation or the timetable of here is a dev kit. We're announcing this. Like I have no idea what the timetable is. Like, because they made it out to be, oh yeah, it could be announced this month. I don't know if you have any extended knowledge of that. I'm not sure.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, if I actually did know anything, I'd be under NDA, so I couldn't say, right?
Yes, right.
So you don't know if I actually know anything. Or
That is correct.
However, let's cut the bullshit. There is no dev kit. I mean, there is no announcement coming out in July. Now, are dev kits out there for the Switch or whatever's next gen? Probably. I mean, you would assume that there is, given the fact that it's typically around a 12 to 18 month time frame when dev kits are usually sent out to developers. And when I say developers, I don't mean plebs like me. I'm talking about first parties and very close partners of the hardware maker potentially would get first dibs on those dev kits. They would be under very, very tight lock and key, very tight NDA. There would be zero leaks, zero knowledge of it. So I think, the time frame kind of tracks. If we're talking about, late next year for a release of new hardware, then you could say with a degree of certainty that, yeah, there are dev kits out there. There has to be, right? I mean, I feel like this is the time where they're starting to, ramp up on development for these games. So yes, but other than that, all this talk about, is there something coming out in July, some announcement? Is there anything coming out this year? I personally don't think that is accurate. I think there is a bit of reaching going on. I think there's a bit of just really hopes and dreams, honestly. And I think, there's been some fake rumors that have gone around as well to kind of, just get caught up in the whole narrative of new hardware is coming. But ultimately, I think, most people agree that's next year, and I kind of agree with that as well. So
okay, next year. Yeah, I'm thinking holiday 2024 is a safe bet. It'd be nice if it was sooner, but I'm personally holiday 2024.
Yeah, I would agree. And yeah, I think, there will be an announcement at some point. But look, this July thing that's going around, no, that's not accurate.
I do want to bring the thing I wanted to bring up, though, and it did get me thinking a little bit about this, because we were trying to figure out at one point a concept Nintendo would use for the next system, whether it's a Switch 2 or something weird, or they try to do something different. It was brought up. This was by a person on YouTube, I think Beyond the Games, that the Pro controller was being used with this dev kit because, according to them, Nintendo wasn't comfortable or ready to send out the actual controller. And I assume you look at the Switch Pro controller, we'll just for the sake of argument just say, okay, this is correct, just for conversation's sake. You look at the Pro controller, it has all the necessary buttons, basic stuff, asymmetric sticks, the whole thing, right? So you could have a basic generic controller that would set up like that for a dev kit for inputs. But I mean, would you use something like that for a different, I don't even know what controller. I've never thought of this. I think the PS5 had its own kind of controller. It looked just like a DualSense anyway. Yeah. I never even thought about specific controllers for dev kits until that was mentioned, because I was just thinking of the dev kit itself.
I mean, if you go back and look at the history of console transitions over time, dev kits, they usually start out as these prototypes, these kind of Frankenstein things that are just kind of held together with ribbon cables and stuff. You have
dev kits on your channel, don't you, MVG?
Yeah, check out the channel. Okay. I cover a couple of old ones from back in the day. But look, a lot of the times when development kits are in the state of prototypes, where they're currently being worked while they're being sent out as prototypes, a lot of the times they haven't finalized the controller hardware. So right. they'll tell you, just use a Pro controller, or just use the previous generation's controllers, because we still haven't finalized the controller that we're working on. And I think if you look at the PlayStation 5 leaks that happened before the PS5 came out, stuff that was kind of leaking even almost a year before we saw those dev kits and stuff that were coming out. Like you said, that I think initial ones were PS4 kind of DualShock controllers almost, right? And then later on, you kind of saw the DualSense PS5 controllers. So I think the same thing is here. I don't think. Look, if this is true, what Beyond the Games is saying, I don't think Nintendo was hiding the controller. I think it's more a case of they're still probably actively working on the controller right now. So they don't have anything to provide until the time comes later on. That's what I would say.
Okay. So I was trying to think if is that where the concept would be, is with the controller, the input device? Because it was mentioned by Miyamoto at one point that they might want to reinvent the controller again.
It could be. I mean, and that's the thing. We don't know what next gen or next hardware is going to be. There's a lot of people believe it's a Switch 2 and it's just a kind of continuation successor. But is it going to be a Switch 2? I mean, I think the good money is. But Nintendo, man, sometimes they just call an audible and just switch it up. No pun intended. And they do something a little different. So I think it's probably going to be a hybrid system, because why would you pivot away from that? But maybe there is some unique and interesting things that come out this time with the controller or something. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the interface, what they would do different, because they showed up with the Wii at one point and had a TV remote for the controller. So it's hard to say. I'd like to think that they just reinvent the Joy-Con, so it's not terrible, and they basically just build off of that. But that's the biggest, to me, that's like the biggest hurdle to get someone into gaming. If you ever hand someone a controller that has never played a game before, it is really difficult for them. And I kind of take that for granted. Maybe we all do, because we don't even look at the controller when we use it. I watch some people, you get like some relatives over or something, and you hand them the controller. They are looking at the controller the whole time they're trying to play the game.
Bro, I'm telling you,
very interesting.
No, that's true. When I first introduced my wife to play games, she grabs, and she's just like, she has no idea, what's going on with it. There's too many buttons. It's just complicated. But yeah, we do take it for granted. Even just like the motor skills of controlling a character with dual analog sticks is very difficult for people who aren't into games.
I will say though, like even I get confused, like going from like A, B on the Switch and then circle cross on the PlayStation.
I like to say cross.
Sometimes, yeah, I did.
All right.
Way to say it. And even for me, I have to like look at it for a minute and just figure it out and get used to it again.
Yeah, I don't know why Nintendo and Nintendo and Xbox, man, they gotta keep messing with me with that A and B. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out, because like even moving the camera, I've noticed for people, if you're new, that's tough.
Camera movement is very difficult. Yeah, camera movement is very difficult.
I'd like to think they have an interesting idea for that, but then I'm like, how far are they about to jump in the deep end on it? I don't know. So I'd like to think they just leave it alone and they're like, it's a controller's fine. Let's work on the other stuff. But
they always have some big gimmick. There's going to be something that's just very strange with this console, but it's probably going to end up being a staple and cool in the future, kind of like how Wii Motion was weird, and then how the dual screen was kind of weird, but then they implemented that in a sort of a way with the Switch, So.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, maybe they could do stuff with analog sticks where they have, I think at one point people mentioned there were like patents for all kinds of stuff. One was like rumble in the sticks. I mean, with the Steam Deck and stuff, it can detect when you're touching the top of it with haptic feedback. So there's probably some things they could do there in terms of immersion, but
it's going to be a DNA reader.
Just don't do something DNA. Weird.
It's going to be a DNA reader.
I already read your heartbeat.
Yeah, read your heartbeat.
I can do that. The Switch can do that.
Gonna get vitality caught for cold cases and stuff. Some of y'all gonna get caught for cold cases and reading your DNA. Gonna get turned in.
I mean, I feel like if before the Switch was unveiled, if I sat down and said Nintendo's going to ship this system and the default controller will not have a D-pad, I feel like most people wouldn't believe me. But the Switch didn't have a D-pad, so I don't know.
Maybe they do something to fix Joy-Con drift. That would be fantastic if their next controller is, because they have that magnet thing, right?
Oh, the Hall effect sensors. Yep. Maybe they ship the controller and it has no buttons. It's just all touch screen.
No.
Like the OG Switch leaks.
And then you know what happens? It folds, MVG. It folds.
That sounds expensive.
I'm out if that happens. I'm joining them. I'm joining the emulation king over there, and I'm emulating.
Hey, does it sound like $80 expensive? You think for the controller? 80?
You can fold it?
Yeah, you can fold it. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. You can't press a button on it. You can fold it though.
Just fold it in different ways to put different inputs. Very good.
Is it like AR? Are you folding like you throw it and stuff like that?
No, I mean they can go with VR. I think they might. AR would be more interesting. I think. I mean they've done AR, but I don't know. That's my nightmare. Is like they show up with something like that, and I'm like, oh no, just make a regular controller. Stay the course. Better Switch. Better Tegra. Still hybrid. Foldable screen though. I'm not mad at it. Do a foldable screen.
I don't think they're gonna do a foldable screen.
You and your foldable screens, John.
Hey, I'm trying to help them out here. Evan, do we have a Discord question?
What system do you choose when it comes to multi-platform games, and in what circumstances do you choose PC?
This is a good question for multi-platform stuff. I kind of depends on it for me though. So like for shooters, I gravitate more towards the Xbox. I think the asymmetric stick and the triggers are better.
I will say I use PlayStation 5 simply because of the ridiculous DRM that Xbox games have. I want a physical copy of my game, and I want to have confidence that I can play that game whenever I want in the future without any issue. And Evan, I will also say occasionally, depending on the game, I'll use PC for something like Diablo 4, for example. I'm on PC for that because I feel like mouse and keyboard is the right way to play.
Oh yeah, game.
Mostly
games do
PS5.
that.
Okay. Yeah, usually for shooting games and even racing games, I go to the Xbox. But for like the third person adventure style games, I will end up on the PlayStation for that. And generally, most games that like RPGs come out of Japan, action RPGs, usually I'll end up there or on the Switch, depending if it's a game I think I might play more portably or not. So like Crisis Core, I have on the Switch and the PlayStation. So I think I played through it on the PlayStation, not on. I didn't play through it all the way on the Switch. I'm like halfway through on the Switch. So
I usually gravitate towards the Switch.
yeah,
if it's like a multiplayer, I'll buy it on both, like Switch and like it depends on the game RPG. But if it's like usually there's like cool PS5 like haptics, so I'll usually buy most of the games on PS5. But I started buying a few like discounted games. Like I bought No More Heroes 3.
Yeah, I got that on the. It comes in like a box and everything on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I got it for like $14 on the Xbox. So I did buy that on Xbox. So yeah. It's just random. Whatever rolls around.
Whatever will get me the most views.
The Trails series I was mostly getting I have on the PlayStation. So I think I have 3 on the Switch. I'm still on the first one, and then Rush Call came out. Reverie came out.
There's no time to play those games. There's no time.
Dude, there's so many games.
There's so many. There's just no time.
I'm like, this looks like a cool game, and someone shows up, and you got to play these 8 games before you can play this one. It's like, well, guess I'm never playing that game now.
The Trail series is so good, but it's just
it's finding the time's tough. It is with that one because, like I said, games, especially this year, games been coming out constantly. I feel like if it was in like 2021 to 2022, I probably would have been able to break through a couple of these Trails games. Sean, you said whatever makes you the most money or gets the most views, whatever.
Yep.
Okay. I'm calling Sean out. He does not like his PlayStation 5. I said it.
I like it for first party games.
He does not respect his PS5. He's getting everything on that Xbox.
What are you talking about? I just recorded a video not for my channel, but for Wood's channel, where we played a PS5 game. So suck my nuts.
Yeah,
John.
because they made you do it on the PS5 because your guests were playing on the PS5.
So I still played it on the PS5.
They forced you to do it.
I still did it.
Besides, for the longest time, well, hold on. Where was the PS5 before? It was right there
In the living room.
On the floor.
Yeah.
No stand.
I keep all my consoles on the floor.
No stand. What's the secret? Tell everyone what the secret is, Sean. What's the secret?
What secret?
What don't you like about the PS5?
Oh, I don't like the triggers.
You hate the DualSense controller.
I do not like this controller.
You don't like that controller. It blows my mind. That controller is so good.
Heavy. It's heavier by far, and I don't really like these triggers, man. I don't.
Really? I like the DualSense controller quite a bit.
The controller is heavy. I agree.
I like it.
But this controller seems just about as heavy.
Beefy.
Which controller are you holding?
The Xbox Series?
No.
Not quite as beefy. That one's like the PS5 is big.
I got a treat for the people here on the podcast. Ready? This came out of a box and was just opened about an hour ago. Brand new Xbox 360 controller. Look at that. Still got the sticker on it. That's one of the goats right there. The 360.
That controller sucks. My Xbox 360 controller is better. It's the limited edition. When I win, you lose.
I have a knockoff third party one that I use for.
What did you say? A knockoff third party one? What?
Yeah. All right. So how much? 281 grams to pounds.
What are you?
So
measuring in grams?
The weight.
Yeah, I'm looking up the weight.
Okay, for the controller. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
What you think he was looking up, John?
Do you prefer the split Joy-Con or do you prefer the DualSense controller?
DualSense.
Okay.
It's split Joy-Con with no grip thing, like one in each hand.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You put in that grip, it's terrible too.
No, the grip makes it okay. Oh. I used the grip for like the first year and a half.
I remember.
Yeah, well, I used it until you bought me a Pro controller.
We made you buy I had to buy you a Pro controller because you would not get a Pro controller. Use that dog-faced controller.
Great.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, whoa.
This dude, this guy. Oh gosh. Let me go over to Go over to some of the super chats here. Oh, look, there's actually some from last week too. King says my PS5 is not that dirty inside yet; it still overheats, and I don't want to take it apart or send it to Sony. Do you know what the problem is?
It overheats. It's not dirty. It's usually compound or
could be the location. Yeah, it could be the location. It could also be the compound, as Evan's mentioning. There is something else in the PS5 that might need to be covered more extensively, and there is a spot in the system that's hard to get to, but it can clog and actually overheat your power supply. So that's kind of an issue.
Sounds like a video, John.
It's a bit of you have to go a little further. You actually have to take the system all the way apart. But it is kind of a design defect that maybe they'll fix in the slim model that apparently is coming. We'll see. But I might have to, MG. The video might have to happen. Travis with a little sticker there. Thanks, Travis. Cersei Julius says, I cleaned my PS5 using your video guide. Thanks, Spawn. Made it super easy. Could you do one for the Series X2? Because I know it's suffering. Bro, I did do one of those. That was after he had put that up. But that is up there. Joe says, why do game Metacritic scores average so much higher than scores for movies or music? Is the scale unofficially different for game reviews? Yeah, it actually kind of is. I think they use the whole scale in movies. Like if you have a 70 on a movie, it's considered very good. If you have a 70 on on games, then your studio might go out of business next week.
Yeah, I feel like an 80 something in movies is like one of the best movies ever made.
Yep.
Right.
Like you're winning the Oscar.
But an 80 in video games is like polarizing almost. A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't.
Like we should do a series where we compare Saints Row to different movies and see if it stacks up. Joe says, love the podcast. Also, Josie is a great addition. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Wait.
What?
So someone named Joe happened to say that Josie is a good addition. She fucking donated.
The J's stick together. What can I say?
Self-donation.
Dion says,
whoa.
Thanks for covering Dragon Quest 12 Spawn. My friends and I are super pumped for that game. I hope the rest of this year is good for you and your family. Thanks, Dion. Yeah, I'm excited for 12 whenever we see it. But hey, you know what? In the meantime, I will take the Dragon Quest 3 HD2D game. That'll probably come first, and I'm ready for that as well. Let's see. The Pokestop says Benedicta from Final Fantasy 16 gives Misclick vibes. It's like how Misclick was in Loki as well. Travis, nice little sticker there. Then we have Metro says Star Ocean looks fire, and Xenogears and Valkyrie like it. Hey, Square, they were questioned about Xenogears, and they said next question, please. So there you go.
Coming, baby. It's coming.
I hope so. I'd like to see it. That'd be cool.
Coming.
JT says, now that I have 100% Banjo Kazooie on my Switch, is there any chance I will get to 100% Banjo Tooie on the Switch also, or do I need to just knock the dust off my N64? Hey, Tooie's on the Xbox.
Yeah,
you can play it there. You can play it there. I mean, I assume they're going to do it just because they were able to do Kazooie, and they will eventually need more N64 games. They need to figure out what's the deal with right now with Pokemon trading card game, because that game needs to happen. It needs to show up already. I'm very disappointed it's not there yet. It's just sitting there off on the side. I will do a video playing that game for the Patreon when it gets dropped. That game is awesome.
I want to get Conquer. Conquer's bad for a day.
That would be really awesome, but it's not happening.
Yeah, Nintendo
doesn't like that game.
Nintendo's gonna pretend that game doesn't exist.
So good. The best game.
Doctor says, do y'all think if the ABK deal goes through that any of the old licensed ABK games like Spider-Man or Transformers could become backwards compatible?
No.
Ooh, that'd be cool if they were able to make that happen.
Yeah, John, that's not going to happen. They can't even fucking keep Forza Motorsport 7 on their thing because of licensing deals. I feel like Transformers and Spider-Man make it a little tougher.
I think it'd be funny if they could make that happen with Spider-Man and advertise and be like, look, we got Spider-Man also. I mean, it's kind of that we got Spider-Man at home thing, but I mean, hey, if they get like Spider-Man 2, that'd be pretty good. That was a great game. I don't know. Do they go back to backwards compatibility if they pick up Activision Blizzard?
I think potentially they could bring a couple of games back. Phil was wearing that Hexen shirt. I don't feel like he did that intentionally. I feel like if they do get the deal, that he's going to want to bring Hexen back. So there's some opportunity there, but like licensed games, that's going to be tough. honestly, to get licenses for those old games.
They have to go to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I know Disney's been playing ball recently. They'll make it happen.
They usually just sell them in their own collection, though.
Yeah, that's true. Solo says your most anticipated game for the rest of the year.
Starfield.
It's probably Starfield at this point. Like most anticipated Starfield, because I want to see how it plays now. It turns out.
I will also add that Mario RPG is a close second.
Yeah, but I know what I'm getting with that game. I'm still like, what is this going to turn out to be? So that's why I'm very Mario RPG is kind of a safe thing for me right now. I know it's going to be, good game and everything. I'm like, what's Starfield exactly? I got to see how big this game is now. It turns out.
Starfield for me. Starfield and Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm really looking forward to playing Mario Bros. Wonder. I think that game it's gonna it's something cool for 2D Mario, like the most interesting 2D Mario game that we've had in.
It looks fun.
Forever.
Looks very.
Yeah,
fun,
I agree with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and also low-key Pikmin 4, but.
And RoboCop as well.
Dream says Phil said under oath they wouldn't remove Call of Duty. They did make him say it like 3 times. The judge even made him do it. Spooky says, if someone simply downloads ROMs from a website with no VPN, can they get in legal trouble? Some people don't want to pay obscene amounts to dump a ROM. I saw those prices at too many games. I will say
this. If you're going around just downloading SNES games, no one cares, right? But if you're downloading Switch ROMs,
oh yeah,
then
I get in trouble.
You may be in some trouble.
No one, yeah, you're right. Though people with Super Nintendo and it's probably not worth their time to do all that with the hundreds of thousands of people probably doing that every day. Colson says, apologies for not delivering the Master Sword. It got signed by Patricia while online. I have another one I can send to a P.O. box. Oh, we did meet Colson there. They were there looking for you, Sean. A lot of people were showing up looking for you.
Yeah, probably a lot of my enemies too.
No. Colson said they had a sword, a Master Sword for you. They showed up with it.
Oh.
They risked it through what I'm going to assume is like 4 or 5 security checks through the TSA. I assume they flew from the other side of the world.
You might have drove.
You were 3 hours by train away, and they showed up with it. They brought it out. They said it's for Sean. I said he's not here.
Yeah, he's probably gonna stab me with it.
Sean pulled a 50 Cent. Many men. Many.
Thank you, Colson. You know what, Colson? Hold that sword for next year, because Sean's coming out next year. He already said it. He's going to show up at the convention.
Mm-hmm.
He will be there. Someone posted a picture of Sean the last time he was at Too Many Games on Twitter.
Did they?
2018.
Feels just like yesterday.
Does it?
Time.
You didn't say that under oath, so you don't know what could happen.
This is from Zbad, who says, can I get a Dreamcast guy from Sean? Cheers, guys.
Dreamcast guy.
No, Sean, where can everyone find you?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. It would have been longer, but you gave the money to John, not me.
What they should do is go to the Spawncast network, right, Sean?
Yeah, I get some of that money to go to Spawncast network.
Hey, you go to Spawncast network. Sean will do Dreamcast guy imitation every single episode for you, just for you.
Yeah.
You can ask him to do it in the bonus show for the.
Yeah, there's a bonus show question. I had to answer. What was the fucking how to avoid the Noid, and did Ronald McDonald get canceled? And I told the terrifying story about when I got stuck in the policeman's head.
What? Okay, this is the classic content provided only over on the Spawncast network. Is the bonus show available exclusively to patrons? Fad says RGT more like RG Taint. Am I right? Worth $10.
Could have at least.
Sean says formal request to have Arlo on the podcast the weekend after Pikmin's 4 release.
Oh, I already denied that. Sorry.
George says if Microsoft is serious that King is the main reason they're buying Activision Blizzard, could they buy that division specifically from Activision if the larger deal falls through? Probably, but I don't think Activision wants to sell them. I think Activision likes King because they make a lot of money for them. Quest says, is RGT King of Emulation going to get a Polymega?
No, because I think it's kind of a scam, honestly. they're now doing
Get him,
some.
MVG. Get him.
I was gonna say,
Well, no. Okay. I'm not saying. Okay, MVG did a review on it because they sent him something, and he was under the impression that that's what everyone was going to be getting. But there's still tons of people that haven't gotten it. So, not saying what MVG's video is incorrect. I'm just saying there's still tons of people that have not received their units, and now they're like working with Atari and like doing weird stuff, and some of the modules that were promised still haven't come out. So I feel, you know, COVID obviously played a role in that too. But no, all the initial Poly Mega videos that came out were all done under the assumption that, okay, this is what's going to be for sale and what people can buy whenever. And then that ended up not being the case.
What I was going to say was I'd be happy to lend you mine if you wanted to make some content up with it.
Oh,
If you were interested.
Yeah, maybe.
the Nation King.
I'll let you know.
The Saturn stuff's pretty good on it.
You know, I actually have a device tomorrow. Wink, wink. Tune in. That actually plays Saturn stuff really well, but not PlayStation 1. I've never seen something like this before in my life.
That makes no sense.
60 frames on Panzer Dragoon. I'm fucking on my little dragon shooting things. I booted up Tony Hawk 3. And then when I paused it, there's just noise that plays really loud. I left it in the video because I was like, if I had to hear this, you did too. It was so weird. But yeah, it just
weird.
Yeah.
Okay, that won't make people click off.
It's towards the end of the video, so it's okay.
Varang says, "Hey John, my name is pronounced Varang. Just in case you didn't know, love all the Patreon content. P.S. Love you guys." Thank you, Varang.
Thank you.
Matthew says, 55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes.
All right.
Right on.
Braxton says, by the way, hi, I'm Dark Type. YouTube name change weird. Oh, okay, gotcha, Braxton. Chat Dark Type. Carpet says, would you rather have the Saturn Mini or the Dreamcast Mini?
Saturn Mini.
Dreamcast Mini.
See, I'm going to say the Saturn Mini because I feel like Sean and I are on the same page here. The Dreamcast Mini is really cool. However, there are a lot of Dreamcast games that are already on consoles. The Saturn collection, obviously, is very, very closed off. So I would rather take the Saturn Mini.
Which one would sell better?
Probably the Dreamcast Mini would sell better, but I would want a Saturn Mini.
Would you just want to see how they would do it? Is that why, or is there like you'd legitimately rather have the library from the Saturn over the Dreamcast?
Both, I think. I legitimately would have the library.
Okay.
Plus, I'd be really interested in the hardware side as well.
Tons of stuff runs the Dreamcast. You know, there's still some issues with Saturn stuff on some devices. Obviously, it's come a long way, but no, I would say Saturn as well, just because even strip away the novelty of the system, it's harder to play those Saturn games than it is those Dreamcast games. If you have a Dreamcast, burn a disc and it'll work. If you have a Saturn, you have to go, with the Fenrir or the fucking other one. Those things are always out of stock. And they're a couple $100 just to, get the price of entry into it.
Yeah. And the Saturn video output is not great. Like if you try to get something out of it, it's you got to go through all kinds of daisy chain peripherals to get it to look decent. So let's have a CRT, I guess. But this is from J2 Blue says, which Man series has a chance of coming back? Mega, Ray, or Pac-Man? So Mega Man, Rayman, or Pac-Man?
He didn't put Hunt in there either. I was gonna say, Rayman.
Mega Man's probably coming back soon.
I think Mega Man's coming back soon too. Yeah.
And Pac-Man just got that repack world, so I mean, I guess that's not really. I mean, it was a remake. It was like a remaster remake, but it was still like a new game for like many people. So
I think we bring back Mega Man. Let's do it.
Mega Man X, next one, right, John?
X9. They could do a collection for Mega Man Legends.
Prehistoric Man. When can that come back? That was good on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
What about Vector Man?
Vector Man is good.
Bring back Vector Man.
Yeah, right.
Bring back Vector. I think Vector Man could work in like a, eShop /
cell phone.
That's not on NSO, is it? Vector Man.
I think it is.
Oh, it is. I haven't been on there in a while to check.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because I remember. Well, Vector Man 2 or just Vector Man?
Not Vector Man 2.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Vector Man 2. I remember renting that one as well.
Yeah, Lawnmower Man, Encino Man.
What is Vector Man?
See, I knew that was coming.
So sorry to ask.
I like
you
it.
have
I like
Nintendo Switch
It's on
online.
NSO. Go play it. It's on NSO.
Grab your
What is
Switch.
it? What kind of game?
Side scrolling.
2D side scrolling shooting platformer.
It was one of those games back in the day. It is a 90s game, you can tell, because they try to have like that 90s attitude to it. If you remember the commercial for that thing was awesome. I remember seeing it. I was like, I need to have this game. It's like a plane came down, like, and you had to like dodge between it, and they had TVs that you would shoot over and over again until they exploded. It was very hard.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm almost positive it is, right?
Oh, here we go.
I'm looking at the list here. Sega games.
I swear Vector Man was on NSO.
I thought it was, but I don't see I don't see the included games. I don't see it. I don't see Vector Man.
Okay, people.
Maybe that's why I haven't played it.
I thought I was going crazy. Okay,
it's on the
Don't
collection.
grill me in
though.
the chat.
Like, it's on the Switch collection. Like there's a collection and it's on there.
Sega Genesis.
Vector. Okay. Sega Genesis.
Okay.
There's like
it's on the collection.
50 games on there.
Yeah.
Are they good?
A lot of them
I
are.
think people thought I was okay. Yeah, I thought I was crazy. All right.
Yeah, my bad. I got Schmicks. It's got Zero Wing though. Go play Zero Wing.
Okay, so they can bring Vector Man to the Genesis then. There you go. Okay. See, that's a good addition.
And it's got Phantasy Star 4 on there, which is an incredible game. Play Phantasy Star 4.
That was a good game.
Yeah,
before
whatever
they went
shows
all-
up, Josie. If you see a tweet go out from Nintendo and they say they're adding Vector Man, go try it out.
All right.
Wait.
Okay.
Day one.
Have you played Gunstar Heroes? Josie?
I've heard of it.
That's a good one as well. You can do that with multiplayer.
Try that for a video.
Okay.
You can do that
Try
with
that one
multiplayer.
for
You and another person can play through it. So it's
All right.
People love that game. That'll get you. People love Gunstar Heroes. It's such
Pretty
a
fun
fun
game.
classic. Yeah,
Is it on the Genesis?
it's on the
Yeah,
NSO.
it's
Yeah,
a
Genesis
game.
NSO.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Let's see. Then Colson says foldable screen, so it can play DS and Wii U online. Yeah, hey, foldable screen. That's how you do it. You bring the DS and the 3DS backwards. Well, they would sell them to you, but you bring the storefront there. There you go. You can do the NSO stuff for it. And Sonic says cell phone controls for Switch 2.
That's happened. I think there's going to be integration, like almost full integration of cell phones, because like that everybody 1-2 Switch game has that pretty.
Yeah, but that's a bad game. Hopefully they don't base.
Still, but the integration, like the technology to integrate it, people said, "Oh, Wii U, it's a bad concept," but then they still use it to integrate it, like with the Switch. So,
Hey, if you don't need buttons, you can have the whole touch screen for the phone be the controller. See, we're figuring stuff out here.
having it as an add-on to where anybody can just be able to play, or just if they're willing to do that, that would be cool. Like to where you wouldn't need like another controller or something like that. Somebody could just use that if they feel like using it.
Sounds like the Amico all over again with these phones as
Cornhole.
Yeah.
Well, the Amico wasn't real though, so I mean,
Apparently it is.
I thought it came out. It didn't come out.
Some YouTubers that are making videos on it.
That's true. I did see that. Wasn't a real
Don't-
product for everybody else. More like
Don't subscribe to Game Pass, says PS Guy, dodging for Starfield as usual. That's true. Max is not here. Connell says, today I'm hoping to fix a PSP that refuses to read UMD. Any cool projects anyone here working on? Yeah, I'm working on a really cool project right now that's taking up way more time than I thought it would. But it's pretty awesome. So I think next weekend it'll be ready.
Nice.
This is a long-term thing. I'm looking at how you make Pokemon like mods because I just played like a ROM hack. And so I'm looking into like the map building right now. It's just like a random side thing I'm doing, but it seems cool.
Pokemon.
Well,
maybe
which
the
game?
Spawncast.
Like,
there it
which
is.
Hardware? Which game?
It's based off of Gen 3, and then you use like map systems to create the map and stuff, and then you like program it into it. I did basic coding in high school. I don't know. We'll see.
Damn, they offer basic coding in high school now? That's dope.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was a
Years
fun
from now,
class.
ask a developer with Josie. There you go.
Absolutely not.
Let's
They taught me some. I learned Spanish. What else did I learn? Math. Algebra.
We did. I think back when in high school, I think they made us take True Basic just so we learned how like if then statements and stuff like that. That was kind of it. So
we didn't have any cool stuff.
We learned
in
that.
high school.
We had computer classes in high school. That's why I became a computer nerd. I loved this.
We had a computer class, but it was boring. It was like type. It was like put in the floppy disk.
Yeah, they taught us how to do Excel sheets and shit.
Yeah, I learned how to type back. I remember typing.
Yeah, it was like Excel. It wasn't anything. And I took computer classes in college too, which were a little bit better. But the high school ones were trash.
We had a computer.
I made a whole video game. My class, it was like a unit.
Cool.
That was my final. It was a little platformer. It's pretty sick.
Did you use Unity?
No, we used Scratch, so it wasn't like great.
Yeah, we used True Basic.
good.
I think it's the same thing that went on our little calculators, TI-83 calculators as well. But we didn't make anything like that. We made like counting programs and.
Yeah, I was just typing. Like, how many words can you type per minute? You got a score.
I think the most advanced thing we made.
We had a racing game for that. That was pretty sick.
I think the most advanced thing we made was like a coin sorter. It's like, here you have this much in change. It now has to figure out how many quarters, dimes, and nickels and pennies.
If you want to learn how to type, play Typing of the Dead.
There you go.
I used to just have typing tutor. That's what I did. Old school.
Let's talk about Banjo Kazooie.
No.
MVG got banned on Reddit. Backstory is he promised people Banjo Kazooie. It didn't happen. Now he's not allowed on Reddit anymore. Nate, on the other hand, got
promoted.
He got verified on Reddit. He was there too. He was within proximity as MVG promised the world to the Banjo fans.
So wait a minute, hold up. If Nate is verified and MVG is banned, so anything that's on the podcast, like what happens? Are like begrudgingly accepting it or what?
they just don't have MVG there anymore. It's just all Nate. So Banjo Kazooie, there was an interview with some of the original developers because the entire series is 25 years old now, which is it's amazing. It's that old. I mean, 98. Yeah, that'd do it. And they did not seem very hopeful that Banjo is coming back in any meaningful way at all. Hey, Grant Kirkhope said that there is most likely no audience for Banjo anymore. He doesn't believe there was one. It's a little strange, I will say this, because
I disagree with that. You've got Banjo in Smash Brothers.
I think that's a great point. I have a video tomorrow in place of what was going to be a tech wave, but my Xbox is turning out really cool, so I'm going to keep working on it. And it was actually that Smash and Sakurai got Xbox to trend in Japan because he said that that's where Banjo is during that show. So I think you're right, MVG. I think they're a bit of an upswing for Banjo right now.
I agree, and also it goes back to that question about what Josie was saying earlier about how Nintendo's sitting on franchises. Banjo Kazooie, it should be a no-brainer for Microsoft. It should be there. Like they should have at least like 3 or 4 Banjo games after Nuts and Bolts by now, if they actually knew what the hell they were doing with their IP, because that is something that is it can just continue through generations as being a very, very popular and very successful game for Microsoft should they choose to do anything with Banjo. But I guess maybe that's not something they're interested in for whatever reason.
Seem to be concerned that there's no audience on Xbox for it, but the thing that's weird to me about that is I don't know if they think that it needs to sell or do numbers like Gears, Forza, Starfield, Halo, something like that. I'm picturing this like Hi-Fi Rush, like put that kind of money into it and see what happens, because Hi-Fi Rush, 2 million people played
saying ukulele proved that Banjo doesn't work. That's incorrect. We're talking about Banjo Kazooie. We're not talking about ukulele. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like they tried that formula and it didn't work, but if that was a Banjo Kazooie game, I guarantee you it would have sold a lot more.
The branding would help, definitely.
Absolutely.
Like that is something that would have been like, oh, okay, this is a new Banjo game. Just like how Saints Row was really bad. I'm bringing it again. It sold better than it should have because Saints Row was the name of the game. I mean, that's just the way it goes, right? So I agree with that. I think Banjo would have given ukulele a boost, easily would have. And my thing with this is it's going into Game Pass day one, right? That's obvious. They would develop it. It would go in there. And the idea is variety for Game Pass and building the audience, not the audience is there. If it's not, you should build the audience because they want billions of gamers there. You can tell me all 2 billion are there for a shooter.
He might be talking about how, like, because the audience, I feel like, would be there if they had it on a Nintendo console, like from day one, and it's sort of a no-brainer. On Xbox, I think they're in so much limbo, and they're not really known for, like, 3D platformers. Granted, they could be, but Nintendo is known for that, and they already have that built-in audience that wants those 3D platformers. And so I think it's more of a step now putting it onto a different console, because especially after what happens with Nuts and Bolts and stuff like that. Granted, it just wasn't a good game, but they might have just a sour taste in their mouth from that. Is my idea.
It could work. Like if they just, I think it would, Xbox, Switch.
Yeah, no, I totally think it could work. It's just an idea of why his mindset would be there.
Yeah, I think if it was a really good, if it was a really good game, like if it sucked, then then it wouldn't work because it's old and it's been around, But if it's a good game, then yeah, I think
sunshine.
I think it could do good. I don't know why people are so quick to say, oh, nobody wants to play it. Nobody wants to, oh, it's old. Just like when people say certain things like with, not to bring Final Fantasy in here, but like, oh, no, nobody wants to play a turn-based Final Fantasy. It's like, wait, why? Why wouldn't anybody want to play turn-based Final Fantasy? Like, since when, so I don't know, man. I think if it's a good game, I think it'd be able to work. But yeah, only on Xbox might be an issue, like for that franchise.
But would it though? Because Xbox doesn't give a shit about game sales.
Well, they do, because they didn't take Minecraft off of that sells good on lots of platforms.
Okay, Minecraft's gonna sell better than fucking Banjo though.
It makes more money on the Switch than it does on the Xbox. That's
what I'm trying to say is that Banjo Kazooie could make a ton of money on Switch. And they put the Ori games. Ori games are on Switch. Those did great, on Switch. So Cuphead's on Switch, did incredible, So I think if they made a great Banjo game, why couldn't it do as good as Cuphead or as good as Ori or as good as any of these other games?
I think if they dual released it, it'd be perfect. I think that would be the solution to it, but I just don't know if they're
if they released it on Xbox first and later ported it over, I think it would, whenever it came over, it'd do fine. It doesn't need to sell 10 million copies.
Am I right? Am I right in saying they did that with Super Lucky's Tale? That was originally an Xbox game, and then they brought it to the Switch. I like Super Lucky's Tale.
It's a good game.
Very good game. So yeah,
they did that. New Super Lucky Tale.
Thank you.
But there's not an audience for that though. It surpassed 3 million players, but there's not an audience for that.
What did
Lucky's Tale franchise?
Did it?
It did.
Yeah, it did good.
This was in 2020, by the way, that was reported.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was after it came over to the Switch, though?
No. This was I think it was before. Yeah. Okay. I think it's mostly just...
Maybe there is an audience.
Yeah, I think it was before it went to the... Because it went to the Switch as new Super Lucky's Tale, I believe, and that...
Yeah. Well, it was also on PlayStation 4.
No, it was. It went to this. It was on the Switch in 2019. I'm sorry.
Adam in the chat saying it's on PS4 as well.
Yep,
it's on PS4. So you just make a. It doesn't need to be AAA, super AAA Banjo Kazooie putting $1 billion into it. It doesn't need to be like that. It could just be.
No, you could make it like I said, Hi-Fi Rush level, just that, and then
double A, 6 to 10 hour game, all collectibles, 15 hours, and I think for $40 or Game Pass, and I think everybody would be happy with that. It's like an 80 something Metacritic. People would be like, all right, great, perfect.
They need to. I think that's an IP they should be building up over time anyway. They should just be releasing stuff for it and do what Nintendo does with some of these other franchises where they obviously not every game Nintendo puts out they pour a ton of money into. They put them out there and they'll still sell millions of copies anyway. So it's... Well,
if they get the Activision thing, they should be putting all their mascots into Warzone as characters. Right? Want to see Blinks the Time Sweeper in there. Want to see Banjo in there. Want to see Conker in there. Master Chief, let's go.
That's not a bad idea, actually, MVG, just to get some of the younger audience kind of aware and familiar with some of these characters as they get gunned down by the Banjo Kazooie skinned AK-47.
Yeah, I need the character now. I've got the gun. Need the character. Go.
I feel like it's worth a shot just to see. I'm trying to figure out. I think legitimately the problem they're running into is they don't have anyone to develop it. So Playtonic hasn't done anything in a little while now. I don't know.
What are they up to, MVG? Do you know? Do you talk to them?
Are they doing illegal? Are they doing something else?
If only they own the people who made
Banjo Kazooie. I mean, that'd have been.
All they were missing, like you're saying, MG, they were just missing that branding. Ukulele just is not an interesting character. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, it's not, and that's the thing. I mean, I think the games are good, especially the second one was pretty good, but it's not the same.
No, you need that impact of that character. Has been around for apparently 25 years.
And
so
the thing, like, I don't know, it's Smash, and you guys mentioned it, but there was such a huge reaction to Banjo and Smash.
Absolutely.
It was. I mean, it wasn't like Steve or Joker, but it was close to that. No, not close to Steve or not close to Joker, but it was good. It was up there. It was definitely up there in the reveals for Smash Brothers having Banjo.
Yeah.
So
for not having a game in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the two you just named though, Jay, of very popular games very recently. Whereas Banjo's like, well, not nuts and bolts. Tui, like you gotta go that back.
And people replay those old Banjo games. Like I see streamers play Banjo all the time. So it's not like it's a dead, like nobody remembers Banjo.
Hey, I'm pulling for you, MVG. It's going to get that Reddit ban lifted when it's revealed next year that Platonic's been quietly in the corner working on a Banjo game.
No. The ban should not be lifted. There needs to be a time limit on these fucking things. I mean, because no. When was this statement made? 2020?
Last year, right?
No, sir. It was at least 2 years. At least bare minimum 2 years.
I didn't know it was that long.
It was last year.
No.
Wait, no.
When the ban happened? When did the ban happen?
Oh, I don't know when the ban happened.
It was last year, wasn't it?
No,
the ban was. Yeah, I think Sean's right. I think it was the year before.
2021. No, time has ran out. I'm sorry.
I mean, hey, games take a while to work on, to market, to set up in the background.
Microsoft has announced you've got Bethesda announcing Elder Scrolls 6, Microsoft talking about Perfect Dark and Fable. No, if this was coming in the nearish future, they would have announced it. Ban is still going on.
So it's running, like, how long though? You said it's 2 years ago, so shouldn't it be up by now or close to being up?
No, because you can't take a victory lap on something you predicted 2 years ago.
No, I'm not saying I said the ban should be up.
Oh, no. You have to enforce the ban.
What if it gets revealed and it's out in 6 months? What if it's revealed and it's shadow dropped like Hi-Fi Rush? That feels like that would be okay. It could have been announced a year
taking a victory lap. Whatever.
MVG's taking that.
All right, fucking Nick.
MVG's taking the lap.
All right, Nicholas.
And we're all going to be too happy and excited to fight him on it.
I don't care about this whole ban thing. That ban thing was stupid. So
no, it's really fun.
Well deserved. Talking about gaming leaks and rumors, the same Reddit that got conned into the NX2 thing.
It was very well deserved, and I
got like 700 upvotes. We've joked about the idea of just throwing something like that out there and see if it'll pick up steam. It probably would. It absolutely would. That X2 still had the Joy-Cons next to it. Come on, people.
Like the Star Fox Grand Prix.
That was
good Lord. That was crazy.
Did you guys see the video you guys had cameos in it? Almost all. Well, not me.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Did you see the video? Did you see it, John?
Should have struck that shit. I don't be fucking using my shit without asking me, motherfucker. I'm kidding. That's cool.
Yeah,
it was great. But no, they weren't hating on you guys. They just
no. I didn't see all of it. Did they actually reveal who started it?
Yeah, it was Roger's base.
Oh, they did reveal it. I didn't know if they'd do that. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I feel like we may have mentioned that in the previous podcast. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think Click talked about it, but Roger, the explanation of it, he didn't do it maliciously. The way that it was done is very interesting. So check out the Did You Know Gaming video.
Yeah, it was a good video. Yeah,
it was a good video.
I watched like 5 or 6 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, that's fine. That happens. It happens. But
the way you said it was funny. I watched 5, 6. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that. That's what I'd like to forget about. That was the whole thing. There was a lot of stuff that happened in the background on that people don't know about, even outside of that video. I'm sure where it was like going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stories about that. At least they put it out there.
What did Liam have to say about all this?
I think Liam was in the video too, but I don't remember his role in the video, if he was, or I don't want to get quoted on that. I watched the video, but I don't remember about that.
Hey, shout out to Digino Gaming. We have a Discord question left, Evan.
We got a couple left. Yeah. Spawncast, are you using a good router for the 5-year-old one you got from your internet provider? I see many people dismissing remote play for PC, and if it's your own network locally, it should work flawlessly at even 4K 120.
Yeah, I have a nice router and everything.
I don't. I'm in college.
I've also used remote play for, like, we had Steam Link and stuff wired in directly, and that was better. Remote play though through the air is so unreliable in general. I don't know. It's just not there yet. So I'm hoping maybe Project Q has some thing to it. I don't know. It's just not doing it yet.
And then last up, besides Adobe, has anyone experienced using other, photo editing software as substitutes for Photoshop and Illustrator? As someone who's against AI usage, I've stopped my Adobe subscription due to the company's exaggerating users to... companies basically just pushing users to basically use the AI in it.
I've used GIMP fairly successfully over the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, GIMP and photo, like the Power Director version of
yeah.
There's actually
that one's difficult.
GIMP
though.
is not as robust as Photoshop, but it will get the job done for most things.
There's actually a big list I keep seeing floating around on social media of all the programs that aren't Adobe programs that fill all those roles. I don't have it on hand right now, sadly. But I've been using Clip Studio, and they were trying to lean towards AI, but then everyone yelled at them, so they kind of backed off of that. So
I'm curious where AI goes in like 5 or 6 years. That could be...
Well, it's lucrative,
disastrous.
Or potentially lucrative for businesses, so it will destroy everything. Yes,
probably will. You have no Discord question, Evan?
No, that's it. We're good.
That's it. Okay. I had some super chats left over here. Where'd Sean go? I was gonna ask if he had the after show going tonight or not. Jalen says
for a bit. That's what
okay,
he would say.
Jalen says, shout outs to the Spawncast Network. Looking forward to future Game and Talk podcasts and Spawncast Plays. 3 hearts. Thank you, Jalen. Yeah, people like the Game and Talk podcast. Gone over really well. One episode, and the other one will be going live sometime this week. We'll see. Zadiah says, now that games have hit $70 price point on all platforms, which company do you think delivered and which fit not or which did not? Oh, which did not probably. I think delivered and which did not.
I'll
for
keep it a
70?
buck. I haven't played a single game, in my opinion, that really like. I bought Returnal for 70. It's really good, but I don't know if it was worth 70 for me. I bought, what was the other game? Ratchet and Clank for 70. It's just the content wasn't there. I mean, it's good. I don't know.
I think Horizon.
You heard it here first. The Tears of the Kingdom, not worth 70, according to OJ.
No, I wish it was 60. But out of all the games that I've played, that would be the one that, like, I didn't buy it for 70 because I had a bunch of gold points, so I got it for 40. But it was $70, right? So overall, it was 70. But that game to me has more content and is more worth it than any of the other games that I've played so far. But I mean, I still wish it was 60.
Horizon was, I think that felt valuable enough for the $70. I spent 60 and then hours there, and then another 11, I think, in the DLC. Which again costs like $20 more, and then God of War Ragnarok, I got a kick out of that, so I enjoyed that for the 70.
I would say that Final Fantasy 16 is worth 70.
I'm still working through it. I got to see how it ends.
I'm pretty happy with what they gave us.
I like what I've seen so far. This is a very good Final Fantasy so far. I'm enjoying it. So
I like it. I like it a lot. There's just some things that I'm not in love with, but I do like it quite a bit.
Significantly better than 15. I said it.
Yeah,
it is
just wipes the floor with 15.
It is better than 15 in many aspects. There's some things that 15 does that I like more in terms of themes and stuff like that. But a lot of the core components, like you can't switch characters, and it would be dope to switch characters in 16. Like Sid, that would just be sick to use it like that. That's a big thing for me. You can't switch characters, but they already advertise it that way. So, so I get it. I 100% get it. But yeah, for the most part, 16 is definitely better. But you know what game wipes the floor with both of them? I think FF7 Remake kind of does. Maybe, potentially. And the new one, Rebirth.
I gotta see Rebirth.
Rebirth might be way better than both of them.
7 Remake only had issues with these feelings of padding, but 16 kind of has that too. So I don't know. It's. I gotta see how 16 ends first before I say anything. But
agreed on that. 7 Remake had structure issues.
Rebirth is looking.
Rebirth's looking good. So. Rebirth's looking like you're getting out of that Midgard. They're fixing a lot of stuff. You can switch characters. They added dual text. Like, oh my god! Like Rebirth.
I have to go back.
Incredible.
I think because I think it's better than 15. I think it's better than 13.
Yeah.
12 maybe. I have to go all the way back to the PS2 to find a Final Fantasy game.
How many of these games are they going to make? It's not going to be like Shenmue, is it? Where they have like 4 parts and they never finish it.
For 7?
Yeah, for 7.
Oh, they're doing 3. It's a trilogy.
Yeah, there's one more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's I assume this one is going to be like the Empire Strikes Back, like the bad ending or something, and they'll probably get like the triumph at the end with the third one. I don't know. So.
You're right though, John. What you're saying, this is probably the best like new numbered Final Fantasy game since the PS2 era, easily.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, like absolutely.
At least that's my opinion on it so far. Again, I got to finish it, but like I think it's good for the newer audience as well. Like I think Josie, I think you would really like it. But
yeah, don't play those old crusty Final Fantasy games. Just play 16.
Hold on. 6. I'm playing 6. I was playing that a bit when I was out at the beach a little bit, and that's pretty good too. 6
is good.
16 looks great. I'm definitely going to pick it up, but I'm just going to wait for a price drop because those games usually price drop.
Can you suplex a train in 16?
6 is goated. So. 6 is absolutely goated. 6 and 9 to me are like super goated.
Yeah, when that price drops a bit, Josie, I'd pick up 16 and check it out. I think you'd like it.
Will do.
Mighty says, have you seen the AI videos of Spawncast? I have, and they are funny, but also scary at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to work on my voice. My voice is terrible.
You see the new one? I had an interview with Kim Kardashian. I would die. That'd be the coolest shit ever. Yeah. Here's like, and on this podcast is Josie with Kim K. And I was like, please sign me up. Where's the paper?
And then when you finally interview, you realize that she's not as cool as you think she is because she thinks.
Listen, man, I respect her. I don't worship her. I don't want to be her. To everyone who thinks I want to be Kim K. I don't want to be Kim K.
As an ant. I'm just saying, she literally thinks of you as an ant and a peasant. Just to let you know,
she can think of me however she wants.
Oh my
I don't give a shit.
Kardashian fans are.
I'm not a. I wouldn't even. I just like the show. It's funny. It's a funny show. Check out the show, OJ.
I've seen the show. It's ass. But
obviously not enough. No.
It's
not
ass.
enough.
It's garbage.
Good Lord. I'm going to get roasted now. The whole.
It's from Garrett. It says, first of all, where's my KF console? Oh, the KFC console. Yeah. My chicken's getting cold. I don't think it's shipping. It's with the Amico.
Yeah, wasn't that just like 2 or 3 they made and we're gonna send to people? Like,
they can't send that out. That
feels like the Amico.
That actually burned people. Otherwise, are you guys ready for another legit Gauntlet game better than Seven Sorrows? Yeah, sure.
I'd love a new Gauntlet game.
Absolutely. Tijo says, play it, John. 9 games, 40 to 60 hours each. It's worth it. By the way, the PS4 version of Trails into Revere has VR support for some of its mini games. Weird. Interesting. Okay. There's a lot going on there. 9 games, 40 to 60 hours each. And Tijo says, I want to open up my Switch to clean it out. Is it really necessary to replace the bronze paste stuff between the metal plate and the heatsink? Probably not. No, you're okay. You don't have to do that. It's actually pretty simple to clean out your Switch in terms of like maintenance. That means you don't have to take the heatsink off at all. There's one part I would take off and that would do it. So maybe I will make that video so that people know. And okay, got that. Okay. This is from Banana, who says, I sharpened a pencil in my bum and now I need a Band-Aid.
Happens.
Banana. This is from Crispy, who says, with all the rumors about the Switch successor's controller, I was wondering what you guys think is the best controller of all time, any system.
Version 2 of the Saturn controller.
The SNK Fight Stick.
Interesting.
It is the best.
Huh.
Best D-pad, best 6-button layout. It's flawless.
I've mentioned this before, but I actually really like the GameCube controller a lot.
GameCube controller is pretty good. It is very good.
Big fan of it. Best part of the system.
best controller. I'm trying to think of like all around controller like that you could just pick up and use. And I do go back to that PS2 controller.
Yeah, that was good. I know it's a system that flopped, but the Wii U Pro controller, man, 80-hour battery life, light as hell. Good stick placement, good buttons.
Wii U Pro controller. Okay.
Good controller.
Probably the Switch Pro controller.
Switch Pro controller. Switch Pro controller. Okay. I was between that, like I had like the PS2, the 360 controller. I remember using those 360 a lot. The PS2 controller, I don't know. It's just like classic. And Andre says, King Kong poster. Josie, do you like that movie, King Kong poster?
Oh, this isn't my place, but it's a cool movie.
Oh yeah, King Kong. There you go. This is from Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing 2003 from Hellman. Alex says, hey guys, love the podcast. Keep up the great work, but curious if any of you played Vandal Hearts on the PS1, and if so, what are your thoughts? I have not played that one, but I'm very aware of that game because we used to have it all the time at the store, and I'd look at it.
I've played it. It's good.
I did not play it though.
It's okay.
Atlas says, I'm in New Zealand and my class was taught coding in our equivalent of middle school, and we made 2D games in year 7 and 3D games in year 8. Oh, wow. Future says, any of you guys currently watching any anime? I just finished Naruto Shippuden, and I just started watching Bleach a few days ago.
No.
More shonen
I'm a big
people.
fan of Naruto. Yes.
No, I
Good
need
stuff.
Dragon Ball to come back and I'll watch anime again.
Good stuff.
Todd says, do you think games will be used as a political tool? I push towards certain ideologies. Saints Row comes to mind. Could it happen with GTA? I think GTA is safe because Take-Two will make sure it's safe. That game has been in development for a long time, and it's going to cost them probably $1 billion. So I think that thing will be very offensive, if that's what you're asking. I think there might be some letters written and all kinds of stuff. So
Kotaku and Polygon chomping at the bit.
oh, people are going to be mad at the game, I'm sure. Someone's going to be mad at it.
The Gamer. That's another fucking shithole website.
People are going to be mad at GTA. Don't worry, Todd. They will push boundaries. Retro says, no audience translates into no audience for the direction they'd be forced to take. It's easier to make Link use an iPad than a bear or bird with AI. Future says, would love a Golden Sun collection for Switch.
That'd be super cool.
Wouldn't we all?
I mean, they're putting Golden Sun on the NSO anyway, so there's your collection. Just keep dropping them on there. Alvin says, number one reason we don't have a Microsoft Banjo yet is because they don't demand their studios work on games they don't want to. That's really the gist of it.
Not wrong.
No one wants to make Banjo? Man.
Why don't you make it?
I'm busy running the Spawncast network. You can check that out at spawncastnetwork.com. You know, I'm telling you can't throw some money at Playtonic and get that done, man. CJ says, is Nintendo wasting the Star Fox IP?
Yes.
Probably. They're not doing it. I mean, maybe they're working on something. They're just not ready to show it, but I would like to see a new Star Fox. Why not?
It'd be cool if they did something in the form of like Starlink, but just like better.
I'm starting to realize that Josie has not played Star Fox Adventures.
It made Star Fox and the Wii U flopped. So
obviously, because it's not Star Fox Adventures, they need to do a follow-up, a second one, where Fox gets out of his ship, and it's a 3D adventure game.
Every Star Fox game since Star Fox 64 has it's just went down and down and down in terms of like sales. So they need to think of something that's going to actually be like what people are going to buy. They're not just going to make it just because, oh my God, I want to make a Star Fox. I love Star Fox. They got to think of something dope, and that's going to do well. Not just to have a game, unless just make a remaster. If that's the case, then just remaster Assault or just do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, just remaster Assault if you want to do that. Okay. You know, but they need to make something interesting and good, like when they bring back Star Fox.
Esim says, why doesn't Microsoft or Sony do the Nintendo approach and work with studios instead of acquisitions? Consolidation of the industry is concerning. Sony works with a lot of studios. They don't buy all of them. Arrowhead, they're making Helldivers too. They don't own Arrowhead yet. You never know. And obviously Square Enix, people talk about that a lot. They money had those projects. So Microsoft is the interesting one. I wouldn't mind them doing more Microsoft publishing for that. And then they make Banjo Kazooie. See?
There you go. So you do it.
Then they dropped the press release that they bought Playtonic. There you go. This is from Necro Banana. It says RGT. There's a poop emoji, and then it says his pants.
I did not.
Okay, thank you. We're just maybe they're making sure. Hellman says, I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since Super Nintendo, one with the guy holding the sword up on the cartridge.
Mystic Quest.
Was that a good seller? That it's not a good Final Fantasy game. It might have been a good, I don't know. Was that a good? I feel like it wasn't, but that was definitely an easy game that was geared towards the West.
Yeah, it was geared towards the West for younger audiences. No, it's not a very good Final Fantasy game, especially in comparison to the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy games.
Any of the other Final Fantasies, pretty much.
Yeah, maybe it's better than Lightning Returns.
It might be. It might be. Martin says, can you guys find any info on that new boxing game? Boxing game. I just did Fight Night again. Yum says, I want Food Wars to continue. Love that show.
Hey.
Are you making show? Who's making Food Wars? Oh, okay. All right. T-Joe says, Falcom keeps changing the Japanese script right up until release. That's why worldwide release of their games can't really happen. And then G-Man says, why does John want Xbox to acquire Activision?
Yeah, John.
Yeah, like piece of shit.
John, trying to tip the scales.
I mean, I know the judge listens to the podcast, and I may have just done that. So you're welcome.
There you go.
You're welcome. And Jazz says, update on chat joining the panel. That is
if that ever happens, it's either going to be pre-recorded or on a
we have I got an idea for that. I got an idea for that somewhat for a show that's more call-in.
We really shouldn't we shouldn't let that landmine go out live, but it's fine.
CJ says, what did you guys think of the Helldivers 2 trailer? I'm interested. I will be checking it out. Sean does not want to buy it.
No, I don't. I watched the trailer and I was like, no, this isn't something I want to play.
I was like, hey, this looks cool. Sean was like, I'm not buying that. Oh, okay. MVG will buy it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
See, there we go. MVG's going to buy it. OJ's going to buy it. Josie's going to buy it. And we're going to laugh.
I never said I was going to buy it.
Not going to buy it. Come on.
Where's the newest trailer? I just looked up Helldivers 2.
It kind of looks like, it kind of reminds me of Earth Defense Force a bit, the way it looks. But yeah, there's a new trailer for it that came out.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, it's like a third person action cooperative shooter.
Here we go, I found it.
With big bugs, kind of like Starship Troopers. Go around here. Sean, are you doing the after show?
Yeah, I'll do it for a little bit.
Okay, let me start going around here. I also want to double check Streamlabs a little bit here. Start with Josie. Josie, thanks for joining us. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/JosieWoe. I have fun new videos coming out about Nintendo. I'm almost to 7,000 subscribers, so if you guys want to subscribe, that'd be cool.
Okay. Come up on the big 10K.
Yeah, but thanks for having me on the show.
Very nice. Mr. Stud Muffin says, hope I finally meet RGT next year at TMG. Need that Ballon copy signature. I'll prepare for disappointment just in case. Mr. Stud Muffin was the person, I believe, that did the diatribe at the panel that we recorded.
I'll be there.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Stud Muffin, bring all the Ballons. Okay. Sean will be there and he will sign each one. I'll make sure. Jen says, thanks to John and Dreamcast Guy for signing my Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. By the way, the Splatoon shareholder is a hero. Let me go over to MVG. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and on Threads at Modern Vintage Gamer.
Oh, he dropped the Threads promotion.
I don't use I mean, I have an account on there. If you want to follow me, go for it.
People seem more friendly on Threads. I think it's just because not enough people are signed up yet.
For now.
For now,
and, yeah, just check out my channel on Monday. There's a new video coming out. And I'm actually working on some longer form content, which is in the works. So I'm kind of getting excited about making videos again. So hopefully some good stuff coming up over the next few months. So keep subscribed and check out the channel.
I have some interesting traffic statistics, MVG, from Threads versus Twitter. Yeah, I'm noticing some stuff on Threads compared to Twitter, and I think that has to do with not being verified on Twitter.
That, and also if you have, I mean, it uses IG as its back end, right? So it's pulling a lot of stuff from Instagram, and I didn't really use it that much.
I'm noticing Threads brings more traffic with a significantly less amount of people there. So that's what I'm noticing right now. So I think it's it is Facebook and stuff, but it's either Twitter or Facebook, wherever you're going, somebody's getting your info. But I think Threads is better than I was expecting for distribution of content on there to people. So.
Elon Musk might be a little worried. He's got his people putting out tweets and stuff saying, "Oh, this is the best place." It's got his people a little worried about this one.
I mean, it's Facebook, so Adam says
real quick. Zuckerberg's a weirdo too. So he's these weird ass people. They make the best stuff. That usually ends up making the most money, the best stuff.
Aren't they they're gonna fight in the cage, right? They're gonna settle in the cage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, Zuckerberg. You see him when he was sweating that one time on that interview. He was just a full sweat in that interview. It's like, bro, what's wrong with this guy? That's how I knew. I'm like, this guy's nuts.
That fight would bring in a lot of money too for a charity or something. They should do that.
Charity.
I'm a charity. Can I be the official charity?
I think they said they would donate it to charity, and there was a projection that they would make $100 million from it. So I say they do it for that. Nothing else for that. Why not?
Yeah.
Adam says if Microsoft really wants to compete, they invest in their own studios. Adding a bunch of new studios won't suddenly fix their management issues. Also, John, which would you recommend for someone who's not huge into PC gaming, the Steam Deck or ROG Ally? I would recommend at this time the Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
I think there's just a lot more in terms of software and compatibility that's been put into that versus
it's so
Ally. Much
more user friendly as well.
The Ally has some work to do before I can fully recommend it over the Steam Deck right now. So let's see. OJ, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Got some cool RPG videos, Nintendo Switch stuff that I'm working on. And like some cool retro things as well, GameCube stuff that I'm working on as well. So yeah, it should be fun. And run the pre-show as well. So if you want to drop by the pre-show and podcast too on Fridays with my man Stealth. So shout outs. Thanks for having me on.
JJ says, I guess June in Japan was when Nintendo and the Switch gave Sony and everyone else the middle finger with how the Switch performed despite games like Street Fighter 6 and Final Fantasy 16 releasing on the PS5. They did. It did really well in Japan. Maybe I got to move my prediction to holiday 2025 with how the Switch is doing.
Holiday 2026. There's going to be the best
best
June in 2025 ever coming out.
A lot of time to figure out foldable screen technology then. So that's good. Ricky says, if Nintendo's next system is indeed as strong as PS4, what are your most anticipated third-party ports? Have a good weekend. Most anticipated third-party ports for it.
Not anticipating, that's not anticipated. Third-party ports,
Most anticipated third-party port for that. That's a good question.
We already have all the games.
Well,
I mean, I guess there could be like what everybody wanted was Persona 5. That's what everybody was like. Where's Persona? We got Persona.
I thought everyone wanted Final Fantasy remake.
I was gonna say, what if we got? I mean, that could be down the road. Final Fantasy VII remake. Re-released as like a trilogy kind of thing, and they started complete edition and stuff, or even just Elden Ring, because Elden Ring will still be around then, and that might be something they can push over, and that could be kind of cool to see released there.
Yeah, no, there'd be. I mean, ports obviously do well. Like Nier Automata got a good port on the Switch, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd buy the stuff, but I've already played and beat a lot of these games.
Who knows? Maybe Final Fantasy 16 is like a true timed exclusive, and it goes to the PC, and then it can go somewhere else, and they push it to Nintendo's next system. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be sick.
That'd be kind of cool.
You know, it'd be cool. Cheap Tales of Arise Scarlet Nexus double pack, $30. That would never happen.
Hey, Evan, where can I ever find you?
You can find me on here, YouTube, Kimmerix Project, if you're into tabletop games, stuff like that. I've been putting out content. Hopefully I can get back into the battle reports because people seem to like those, but I'm working on it.
South Coast Horizon says, I know people, especially among the panel, are sick of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I, however, think this 5 years from the game launching, DLC tracks characters have freshened up the game quite a bit. Also, not many have noticed, but the meta has changed a bit. Well, let's see. Next year's 2024, 10-year game. So
I'm so sick and tired.
It's been 10 years.
I'm so sick and tired. And the new courses are cool, and I know the meta's changed, but I need a new gimmick. I need new mechanics. Like
there's new characters. Something. It'll be fun. It's good.
The characters don't do anything. It's does weight class, and like they're what are they? They're jump. When you hit a jump and you hit the button, and like they do like a little whatever, like dance or a little pose and stuff, like for a boost. Like I need new mechanics. Like Mario Kart Tour actually has like new mechanics that are pretty cool. The game is just mobile stuff, but yeah, like I need something new.
Banana says someone needs to change their smoke alarm battery. And Jazzman says, I'm sure Sean has my back. I'm not crazy and happy to talk games. There you go, Sean. Jazzman will come on. You can drop in as a call-in, discuss games with you.
He told you he's not crazy, which means it's true.
I think that's everything. Yes, we're good. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for the podcast tonight. Good to be back live. We didn't break up yet. Come on by and see us next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Check out the Spawncast Network, spawncastnetwork.com. Fun stuff coming up this week. Want to see it. We'll see you guys then.